making a way. Ooh, keep on blessing me. Blessed in the city, blessed in the field, even when you come and go. I'm so glad that the Lord keeps on blessing me. Y'all, I must say, in spite of, he just keep on. Yeah, keep on blessing me. Oh, keep on blessing me, blessing me, blessing me. In spite of me, he keeps on blessing me, blessing me. I don't deserve it. He keeps on blessing me, blessing me. All the time, he keeps on blessing me, blessing me. Lord, we need you to, Lord, we need you to, Lord, we need you to. Can't make it unless you, we need you to stop it. Come on and stop it. Do it every day, every hour. Come on and do it for us now. Somebody in a hospital, somebody down, don't feel too well, but bless us now.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters.
When you hear that,
My soul, God's gonna turn it around.
you know what time it is. Church Chicago Power Hour. Church Chicago Power Hour. Church Chicago Power Hour. Church Chicago Power Hour. Power Hour. Power Hour. Power Hour. I'm telling my age. Power Hour. Power Hour.
Yeah.
Power Hour. Come on.
Don't leave me now.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Good morning. We are honored that you are tuned into Church Chicago's Power Hour right here on What's in It for the Black People Media. We are so elated to be here once again to get started with you on this Sunday, the last Sunday of the month, February 28th. We got a balmy 52 degrees, and we're here to celebrate God with you and get your Sunday started. Good morning, Cherie. Good morning, Diane.
Good morning.
Good morning, Milton. Good morning,
Milton.
Kay. Good morning, good morning. Hey. Send us some hearts. Share the page.
Oh, yeah.
We got a very exciting surprise for you today. But right now, we want to rock out just a little bit.
Last day of Black History Month.
Yes.
Come on, y'all. Come on.
Hey. Hey.
We ain't got to stop on February 28th.
No, because
We're
I'm
going to
black
start
all
it
year.
over again. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Good morning,
Hey.
Lanye. Hey.
Please don't.
Hey.
Please don't leave me now. Please don't leave me now. Please.
There you go.
You was waiting on that.
Yeah, he was waiting.
That's that hard there.
He
That's that
was
hard.
waiting. He went in the crawl and tried to get it out.
I had to go get it. That's a prayer I was praying. You didn't know I was praying.
But you got it, though.
Please don't leave me now. Come all the way with me.
Don't ever leave me.
I'm telling
Ooh,
you.
I need you every second of every minute of every hour of every day.
That on the shoulder there. Close your eyes and just I'm telling you.
There's got to be some shoulders in that.
What you say?
You're not dancing. You're not dancing house music. I know this Sunday morning church. You're not doing house music if your shoulder's not
Hey,
doing
Mo,
nothing.
I
you
know.
ain't doing that.
So while you praying, the next time you pray, turn this on. Just be like, oh Lord, oh Lord, forgive me. I went against your will. I said some things
Shouldn't have
I
said.
shouldn't have said. Done some things I shouldn't have done.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please. You close that, please.
man.
Please, sir, look
Please,
at
sir,
me.
have mercy.
Right on time. Y'all out there, just hashtag said, please, sir.
Hey, you remember
S-U-H.
S-U-H. I should have said,
Remember how
please,
Uncle
sir.
Paul used to, Lord have mercy.
Please, sir.
Then he go to sleep.
We
He
want
did
to
his part. He did his part.
yeah.
we
Yes,
want
sir.
to let you all know we are really, really turned up a bit this morning, as you can already observe. However, it's because we have a surprise for you one this morning, and we want to be able to keep up the energy and let you all know that you can still serve God and be happy.
And be happy.
And be happy. You know, you can still serve God and have joy. You can still serve God and let the world know that you've had some trials, you've had some tribulations, but it's because of God. He turned things around and you're here today. Have I got one witness?
Two. I told him happy Valentine's Day.
You told him that? You told God happy Valentine's Day? I
sure
love
did.
it.
Oh,
I
Lord.
sure
I love it. I love it. I love it. Because we got to let God know we love him. He
Yes.
protects us. He provides for us. He comforts us. He protects us. He heals us. He guides us and gives us wisdom. So, I mean, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
The joy of the Lord is our strength.
Come on, I'm listening.
Come on,
The
boy.
joy of the Lord
Uh-huh.
is our strength.
Yes.
The joy
Uh-huh.
of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
People say it, but there's really no impact. The impact of when I think of his goodness.
Okay.
You know, it has become a plain, it's becoming a bland statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a few people that I know in my church going listening. And when every time they've said that, something happened.
Something happened.
But now it's like a prime and pumper.
Yeah, it is.
But it don't need priming and pumping.
That's
because
right.
when you speak it, and if you have the spirit or the joy of the Lord,
Oh, just think about it.
it
Just
ought
think
to
of it.
spread.
Absolutely.
That
You have a
shouldn't be forced.
flashback.
It's not a fight for me to say to you, Angie, when I think of his goodness, some in your mind.
And all that he's done for
And
me.
all
And
that
how
I could
he's-
think of.
Yes, sir.
'Cause all, I can't think of all of it. I'm just acknowledging in all.
Just some of the things that he's brought me through. Just some of the dangers he's kept me from.
Man.
You finna make us pop, Angie.
Just some of the provisions he's given me when I could not even provide for
Yes.
myself.
For the doors you open,
Yes.
for the ways you made.
Come on.
Those
From
two
the things
lines,
seen and unseen.
Yes.
man, what?
All night and all day.
Oh, my,
Angels
my cheeks shaking.
keep
Don't do this.
watching over
My cheeks
me.
shaking. Don't do this
Huh?
to me, Angie. Not
I'm
on
just
this-
saying.
Not on this Sunday.
Yes. When you think about it.
Man, don't do that.
I'm just telling you.
Can't do this.
No, because you started it. Because now you're gonna. I'm gonna press the
But
gas. You don't want to do that.
I've gotten every highest joy.
His voice changes. Hey, his voice
Yes.
changes.
Every single time
Hold it
we
together,
turn
boy.
around,
Keep on
God
blessing.
keeps blessing us,
Yes.
even in our sins and our forgetfulness. He keeps providing.
Come on, Keys.
I'm
Hold it
just
together,
saying.
man.
But you know what? It's okay because we want our listening audience to know that God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we could ever ask or think.
He'll
Thank
bless
God.
He'll bless your thoughts.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He will. I know he will. We're going to have a music break. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Chicago's Power Hour.
I struggled, couldn't gain any ground. I have stumbled, even fallen down. I've been lonely, I face situations with no way out. But whenever I am struggling, He gives me a hand. And whenever I have fallen, He picks me up again, yeah. And whenever I'm sad and lonely, He brightens up my day. And whenever situations come, He always makes a way. That's why I say, that lets me know that He cares for me. That's why I say, that lets me know that He cares for me. Sing, that lets me know that He cares for me. When I think about it, I say, that lets me know that He cares for me. Because Jesus knows all about our struggles, and He will guide, yes He will, till the day is done. Oh, yes, not a friend, no, like the lonely Jesus. He cares all over the world. I testify today that He cares for me. Look back over my life, I realize that He cares for me. I thank God that He does. He cares. He told me in His word to cast my cares on Him, for He cares for me. Ah, He cares. I stand here today to let you know for me. North, south, east to the west, not only me, but He cares for you. Yes, He does. I'm so glad He does. For me, for me, for me, for me, He cares. Yeah, 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 for me. So whenever I am struggling, He gives me a hand.
All right, we are back right here on Church Chicago's Power Hour, and you just heard from our very own Pastor Terrence Keys, and he cares. Hallelujah. We are so elated, as you already witnessed, if you're just tuning in or you were here before our song break. God is in this place, and we are honored to take it up a notch higher. So, if you remember, on last week, we played a hit. In fact, we played it twice because it was so good. And when I tell you I'm bubbling over and I'm trying to keep a professional composure and not allow my Baptist side to erupt, I am trying so hard. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am honored to have Earthen Vessels, Flight 14 Productions in the studio. To my left, I have the lovely Lynn Morton. To my right, I have Flight 14 Productions, Stefan Morton. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my goodness, where do I begin? So I'll just tell you, I had not heard of the single. Okay, I did not know about it. Pastor Keys always sneaks in good music, and so we rocking or whatever like we normally do. But then he played your song, and I'm like, Lord, what is this? What is happening? And before I know it, we was all just having a Holy Ghost good time right here in the studio. People were outside of the door. They were getting turned up. And I just want to say, one, thank you for taking us to church. Two, thank you for making it happen the way that you did. But before we go into the song, how are you all feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Just excited and honored that you guys wanted to, do this for us and with us. So we're just excited.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am just so overwhelmed and appreciative of anybody and everybody that has been taken to the single and showing us so much love and appreciation. I honor God. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming, but we're here now.
Oh, my God.
We're here now.
So that means that God was baking you in the oven, and this is what happened. The results of it happened so beautifully, and so I'm just so glad that you all are here. We want to unpack that, but before we get to you, I want to hear about Flight 14 Productions. I'm like, is that a 777? What does that symbolize?
So Flight 14 Productions is simply like, it represents what we all started at. On 14th and Ashland at New Garden Missionary Baptist Church. Everybody from our whole family started right there.
Wow.
So the 14, we just put that together with Flight 14 Productions, because that's what we want to take Flight from where it started off, and never forget that address, man, because it helped all of us with our music career, with our being entrepreneurs. It helped so many things. Wow. So that's the meaning behind Flight 14.
And when did you get started with Flight 14 Productions?
Well, the guys, the Holy Sons, Exciting Holy Sons, they have been doing it for a long time. So I came in later, just like, man, I just graduated, got the degree. Let's do it for real, man. So we just were like, let's do it. Y'all been doing it all this time. Might as well just do it for real, man. Like, let's try to take it out of 14th Ashland and go. Now let's get us a studio. Let's get us a spot and start helping people bring their vision to life without all the extra. You know what I'm saying? Yes. That's where it really started.
And I like the fact that you said helping others and bringing it to life. So when you got started and you began to expand, people started latching on. Yeah. So how did that turn out? I mean, like, you started out with just this nucleus of people, and then you started getting your work out there, and then other people started coming along. So who else do you have? Who else have you produced?
So we started off just getting our family groups, Earthen Vessels, the Holy Sons. We have another family group, the Anointed Ones, that we work with, and we work with all different genres. So we have no like, oh, this is just what we do.
Okay.
We work with hip hop artists. We work with R&B. We work with a rock artist if that's what you want to do. It's all about just putting out good quality music and making sure everything is great, from production on down to the post-production, everything, songwriting, everything. Just making sure your vision is brought to life. Everything that you want is just there.
Wow. And then I feel like there's this, like, sense of family presence or element, which makes it more intimate and trustworthy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
It's definitely a family. And now we're bringing more people in that's going to help push it even further.
So let me ask you, so really quickly, at what point did you feel like this is it? We're about to take off. What happened? Where were you? Was it a particular song? Was it something that woke you up in the morning or late at night and you just like, this is it?
I just felt like once we got our plan out and we actually said what we wanted to do, because all we did for years was like, this is what we want, this is our dreams. But we never actually went out and said, let's go do this. Let's just forget everything. We put it all on the table.
Wow.
So now when we did that, man, everything just started showing up for us.
Okay.
Just happening.
Okay. And so who's a part of this team? Who's a part of Flight 14 Productions?
Well, we have a few people. My cousin Christopher Hallam, he's the head of production. We have Pastor Arthur Gould, he's on the production team.
Oh, Wow.
We
Okay.
have Sean Hallam, he's on the production team. We have Harry Bullock, he's on the production team.
Okay.
We have my first lady and pastor, a part of the financial team and everything. And my mother, she's on the print committee.
Amen, Reverend. Yes, sir.
We also have Teresa Hallam. She's the head of our songwriting team. So it's just a bunch of family things. And we're bringing more people on. We also have Anthony Watkins. He's on the writing team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying, that we got right now in our circle that's helping us push. And it's so much to come, man.
I think it's great. I mean, I'm excited for you all. Sounds like you have an amazing team. And then to be able to work with family and the prayer committee. Yeah. Oh, my God. That's the first.
Yeah. You got to have that prayer team because it's like, man.
Yes.
Because sometimes that studio, it don't always go right. And we got to pray.
You got to have somebody to hold it together.
Man.
Wow. Well, producer, I want you to get their song ready. I want to be ready, but when we before we go there, I just want to let everybody know that this is a song that you need to have in your repertoire. You understand me? I need for you to purchase I Want to Be Ready. How can they purchase this song?
I Want to Be Ready is available on all your digital platforms. You can download it right now, today, this moment.
This moment, yes.
This moment, Spotify, Apple Music, the Android platform, YouTube, wherever you get your digital music from, you can find I Want to Be Ready.
Oh, my God. So, again, I'm calming down because this is such a hit to me. Who penned it? Who wrote it?
I, along with my nephew, David Hallam, we wrote the song. It's a song that we had, 10 years ago. This is why I say it's been a long time coming. Everything in God's time, and you have to know when to release what the sound is in the air, the movement of what the Spirit is saying at the time. And so David and I collaborated and wrote this song, had to be well over 10 years ago, maybe even more. But the timing was right, and God said it's now. And the fun part and the kind of funny part is that being in the studio with my son and my nephew, it's like, I'm your mama. But not in the studio, so I have to follow their leading and what their expertise is. So,
Wow. Well, so this is very personal for you.
Absolutely.
Very, very personal for you. When you begin to work the song, there's a serious drive. Your ad lib is off the chain. I mean, you were pressing the gas. What were you thinking when you penned the song? What was in mind? Because we don't hear a lot about getting ready. You know, we hear about, God loves us, he'll forgive our sins, but there's an ultimate destination. And hopefully you're on flight 14 to get there. But
absolutely,
what made you pen this song and just really remind us that we need to be ready?
Well, my nephew came to me and said, I got something. I said, what you got, David? He said, and he just worked it. He said, I want to be ready, ready when Jesus come. I was like, whoa. We do need to be ready.
Yes.
Scripture says, no man knows the day nor the hour that the Son of Man shall appear. And so living that and actually hearing that, yeah, David, we got to be ready. And so I came up with the other part. I got to live my life rapture ready. Because we got to live it rapture ready. Because if we don't know, at any moment he can crack the cloud. So we got to be rapture ready.
Come on, Reverend Moore.
We got to live. And the old church, oh, Lord.
Come on.
The old church used to sing a song that said, I want to live so God can use me anywhere and any time. And so if he's using me at anywhere and any time, he may come back just then.
That's right.
And I got to be ready.
Yes. Without a spot or a wrinkle.
Without a spot or wrinkle.
That's what you said. That's
Yes.
what the word said.
That's what the word said.
Oh, my God. And so when you're reminding us that we need to be ready and he can come back at any time, what would you say to the lost soul who doesn't know Christ but has an interest in it? What would you say to them?
I said, come, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. You don't ever know how good something is until you partake of it. You know, you can't say love that chicken from Popeyes if you never had the chicken.
I love chicken. Go ahead.
I love chicken. A good piece of fried chicken.
Yes.
And if you have not tasted of him, if you have not partaken of his goodness and felt the anointing and the love that comes from being in the presence of the Holy Spirit, you can't say you don't want it or you don't need it. But oh, taste and see. Just dip your toe in the water. I promise you your whole foot and the rest of you coming.
What you say? Listen, you've been listening to Lady Lynn Morton and Flight 14 production, Stefan Morton. We're getting ready to hear this song that we're talking about and that we're promoting. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about I Want to Be Ready right here on Church Chicago's Power Hour.
If I ever did were foolish, but when the Lord
I'm still bumping. I want to be ready, okay? Are you ready? You're listening to Church Chicago's Power Hour, and I've got the lady who's pressing the gas on this song right here in the studio with us, Miss Lynn Morton, and I also have Flight 14 Productions. To my right, Stefan Morton. If you enjoyed that song, make sure you purchase it. We have been unpacking how the song came about. We've been talking about the lyrics, and my God, today, oh my goodness, y'all did an amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to ask you, so when you said that the history of this song took about 10 years to actually develop, when we talk about how we need to be ready because we don't know the day, the hour, the time, we don't even have a guesstimation, how can we encourage people to let them know that you don't have to be perfect? Your heart just got to be right. What would you say to them?
I would say just that Scripture tells us that we're growing to a perfection.
Okay.
Not that we are perfect, but it is a process. We don't come into the full knowledge of Christ as being perfect. Bible also tells us that we have something to repent for daily. So don't think a lot of times in church, we've been given this persona or this perception that we do no wrong.
Yes.
That
Thank you for saying that.
The preacher does no wrong, and you have this measurement that you have to live up to the preacher, that you're not going to fall, you're not going to make a mistake. But we live in flesh and blood bodies. And in this flesh wars against the spirit, and it is not always in connection. It's not always on the up and up. You may slip up, your tongue may say some stuff that you should not have said.
Yes.
Your actions may have been something that you should not have said. But because we serve a God that is a forgiving God, we have the opportunity daily to ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
And he is faithful and just to forgive us of all of our unrighteousness. He says our sins are thrown into the sea of forgetfulness, and they are as far as the east is from the west. So don't get caught up in, oh, Lord, I messed up, I slipped.
Yes.
Well, your flesh gon' slip.
Yes.
But he's faithful and just
To forgive us. Yes, I love that. And so if you're listening out there, hi, Tiger. Good morning. Good to see you. If you're listening and you are just on the fence about God and church and everything, and maybe you have some things in your mind, some proclivities, some sins or whatever that make you kind of distance yourself from God. You heard it from the lady herself, Lady Lynn Morton. He is faithful to forgive us. And, we're in the flesh, so you're going to make mistakes. So don't allow that to prevent you from giving God a try. Mr. Morton, tell me about a time where it just became a little hectic in the studio, and what did you do? Maybe it was deadlines. Maybe it was...
Definitely deadlines. Because I'm big on deadlines, and I hate when I miss a deadline. But, man, it's been so many times where it's like, hey, man, ready to throw some drums at each other. but you know what I'm saying? We all come together. Like I said, we pray about it. Get my auntie, she comes and like, hey, look, we got to get it done. So, everybody put their feelings aside and just get the work done. So, man, it's been so many times I can't even call out one because it's crazy. It's crazy.
That when things get hectic, but that's to be expected, right?
Yeah, it's definitely to be expected because it comes from everybody having that same passion, that passion to want to do something great. So it's like if your passion is making you feel some type of way because this person not coming today, he got his feelings because of what happened later. It's just our passion. Everybody loves to do it, so it's like when they come in that room, it gets kind of hectic sometimes.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. So what do you do though? What do you do?
Sometimes you have to walk away and come back.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to walk away and be like, hey, bro, we going back tomorrow.
Let's try this again tomorrow.
Let's try tomorrow, man.
Wow. I want to give a hearty shout out to My Aunt Niecy, who's listening, thank you so much. DeAndre Young, thank you so much for listening. Karen Lynn Morton, did you called on Obadiah?
Mm-hmm.
And Terry Hallam, she's listening. So thank you so much. Thank you all for listening. What would you say to the entrepreneur, the person who has a passion, like you alluded to, and they are fearful of actually stepping out and executing their dream or their vision? What would you say to them?
All I can say is, man, just write your vision, make it plain,
Rebecca.
and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, you still sitting there with your dream. The dream is not gonna get done unless you do it. Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
So you have to just go out and attack it. And I always tell all my cousins who I talk about business with, just because one door opens faster than the other, don't mean you turn it down because you're not ready for it.
What you say?
It could be something big in this door, but just because you're not mentally ready, don't mean don't walk in it. Because that smaller one can come after the big one. So just be prepared for everything that could happen.
Your mindset.
Just be, and that's all it is, a mindset. It's a mindset, man. You just got to have that, I'm going to do it regardless. No matter the likes I get, the shares I get, I'm still going to do it.
Yes. You're not even focused on that.
Man. Not at all.
What would you say to the black men in particular, who I personally feel, has to oftentimes work doubly, if not triply as hard? How would you encourage him? He's got a strike on his back. He's got a vision, but, he's not feeling encouraged. What would you say to the black man?
Just do it because they count us out anyway. So, and don't be afraid to fail because failing is going to happen regardless. It's about how you bounce back and how you recuperate, man. That's all it is. Like, once I fall, am I going to stay there? Or I'm going to get up and try to brush my shoulders off and move on. So just go on and do it because time waits for no man.
That's right.
Time waits for no man. So the longer you sit there, the older you get, the less time you have to get it done because you never know what tomorrow brings. Like,
time is filled with swift transition, huh?
Man.
Wow. What would you say to the person who's depressed? Who's feeling like, I don't feel at all ready, let alone, trying to move on and get myself together? What would you say to the person who's depressed and discouraged?
I think one of the most important things that we tend to leave out is that piece of building a community. You need people. I don't care what nobody said. You cannot be in this or any other aspect of life alone. So find your tribe. Find your folks that vibe with you. And not just all yes people. You need to have some people that's going to tell you, no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And still love you. But if you're feeling discouragement, if you're feeling alone, you're feeling depressed, find your tribe. Find your tribe. That's critical. As we start and go for all of this, find the people who can vibe with you, who can work with you.
Yes.
Who Steph just said, write the vision and make it plain. But the next line says, so that they may run that read it. Find the people who's ready to run with you. You got to, when you write the vision and you put it there, it's some folks that's supposed to be running with you. Find your tribe.
Wow. That's I like that. Hashtag find your tribe. Find your tribe. Hashtag find your tribe. I need to see that in the comments. Hashtag find your tribe. So we're ultimately praying for divine connections.
Absolutely.
Somebody that can help us. Because I know when I felt low or whatever, sometimes you need somebody that you can lay your eyes on because that spiritual aspect is not there. Because you're caught up in your feelings. So I like that. Find your tribe. Find your tribe. Was there ever a time in your life where you felt like, oh, my goodness, I don't know if I can make it out of this?
Absolutely. When when I first transitioned from corporate America into being an entrepreneur myself, it was like, okay, you know, my siblings got jobs, and I'm about to launch out here. I can't say I work at so-and-so. I work at Lynn, you know, and actually writing the vision and seeing it come to fruition, and not really connecting at the moment to other entrepreneurs, and not only being an entrepreneur, but moving into a space and being in the space that I'm in that is dominated by white women. Okay, so here comes a little black girl from the west side getting ready to tell us something. Yep, I got it, boo. Come on, I'm getting ready. Come on in the room. And just being able to stand on the foundation that I know what I know, and I'm going to help you when I give you what I know.
Yes.
So moving in that, I mean, there have been numbers of times that I had to go back and say, where's my tribe? You know, in our family, as a unit, we're very communal. But all the time, you can't always depend on your family. You need somebody outside of your family that says,
yes,
yeah, you can do this.
Yes, yeah, I love that. I love that. They're hashtagging Find Your Tribe.
Find your tribe.
J Love is hashtagging Find Your Tribe.
Find your tribe.
I love that. I love
That's
that.
my brother.
That's brother. Find your tribe. I think he found his. I think he has his. So I love the fact that you are, you know, giving some real life experiences when it comes to transitioning from corporate America to actually working for yourself. Tell me about the exciting Holy Sons really quickly, just real quick before we go to break, because I want to unpack that, and I also want to unpack We Win. But let's go there.
The exciting Holy Sons, it's a family group that they've been singing 30-something years. I was messing with them last night in a session we had last night, and I was like, y'all been singing 40 years. But I came I've been there maybe 6-7 years.
Okay.
I came in. It's just a family-oriented group, man. They well known across the country, man. So it's not a lot I can say. You know, it's a family group.
You're so humble, but I got the chance to hear them. And they're also a group that I would encourage our listening audience to explore and check them out. They're definitely worth listening to. We're getting ready to go to a commercial to some songs. And I am just ready to oh my goodness, just hug both of y'all, but it's 19, I ain't gonna do it. But I'm gonna give you the air hug because you all are amazing. But right now we're getting ready to hear We Win.
Until I reach the higher ground, we will fight till the end, 'cause we win, and He is our friend. No, I won't back down until I reach the higher ground. Till the end, 'cause we win, and He is our friend. We win, we win, we win, waving my hand. When you see me waving my hand, I'm happy 'cause it saved my soul, y'all. When you see me living for joy, the reason why I'm happy is Jesus, y'all. He saved my soul one day, y'all. Listen, this y'all, they gave a present, give it to me. Grand King, take away no, yeah. Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell y'all tonight, I want y'all to come on around and make it. Somebody here tonight that happy Jesus. I got somebody here happy you saved your life. Do I got somebody here? If I got somebody in the building tonight, I want to wave your hand. If you know he saved your life, you know you happy Jesus. You know the reason why I'm happy Jesus. Early this morning, you woke me up right on time. Started me on my way. Do I got somebody here tonight? Do I got somebody here tonight? Yeah, somebody in the building. You know I'm happy Jesus. This joy I have, ready to give it to me. Ready to give it to me. Ready to give it to me. Ready can't take it away. Ready can't take it away. Ready can't take it away. You know what I do? You know what I do, y'all? You know what I do? I sing. Oh, yeah. I shout. I dance. I shout. Anybody in the building? Do I got somebody here? Do I got somebody here? Somebody in this building tonight. Oh, somebody here. Daddy save your life. Daddy save your life. What he done for me. What he done for me. He'll do the same thing to you. Do I got somebody here? Oh, tell somebody. Oh, tell somebody. Oh, tell somebody. Oh, he healed my body.
Anybody happy in Jesus? You're listening to Church Chicago's Power Hour right here on What's in It for the Black People Media. I know I'm happy in Jesus, and I hope that you are too. That sage voice that you heard, oh my goodness. Whew, I got the chills. I got the people right here. Earthen Vessels is in the house. Flight 14 Productions is in the house. And if you're just tuning in, we've been talking to them about how they came to be, the origins of the song I Want to Be Ready, which we've been promoting and talking about, and also encouraging the listening audience how to remain encouraged during these hard times and tough times. But I want to really quickly address the title, We Win. How did that happen? What made you come up with that title, We Win?
We Win came like in the early part of the coronavirus, and then police brutality was really picking up around the time last year. So the first lines of the verse really came to me. No, I won't back down. And then the next part came, and then I texted to one of my other guys, songwriter Anthony Watkins, and it was like, man, bro, this might be something, you know. So once we got the idea, he helped me write it, and then I called some of the fellow artists, Chicago Quartet artists. I got this idea. We need to do this together, do a video, get the kids on and see what happens.
Okay.
And I'm the type of person, I can call you at the spread of the moment. When you least expect, like, I got an idea. And ain't no, like, all right, man, okay.
They gonna roll with you because they know it's gonna come out good.
Like, it could be like, we just seen each other. Hey, I got an idea, like, 2 seconds later. So everybody know. They was just on board, and I appreciate everybody from the Victory Travelers, Douglas Singers, the Hopkins family.
What you say? Deacon Reuben Burton,
man, listen.
Keisha Lockett, and First Lady Lockett.
Oh my God, that's family, and I appreciate everybody. Joanne and the Harmoniers, my home church, New Garden Missionary Baptist Church, my little cousins that helped me with the choir singing of the kids.
Yes.
Anointed Vessels Ministry for letting us use their facility multiple times for the video. Like, oh my God, that video is so stressful.
It was stressful.
But we got it out, and it's on Facebook right now, and it will be on Apple Music Vivo next month on the 12th. So,
March 12th.
March 12th.
This coming month. Start tomorrow. Start counting down the days.
Yep. Countdown.
Wow. And then the exciting, the Holy Sons, exciting Holy Sons. Oh, my goodness. I enjoyed that. I hadn't heard that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I like it. That's next. That's next. It'll be right behind your song. So, you know what? I forgot. I wanted to address those members who are part of Earthen Vessels. Who are they?
Earthen Vessels consist of my two sisters, Lady Terry Hallam. She's what we call Big Sister Almighty.
Okay.
My younger sister, Michelle Morton, and my niece, Lady Terry's daughter, Teresa Hallam. All of the songs that the Vessels sing, that we sing, my niece and I wrote them. So Teresa is a big part. Michelle and Lady Terry, we all have our parts in making Earthen Vessels what it is.
Wow. So it really is a strong family dynamic. I love to hear and see that. I love to be able to witness the determination even through obstacles and trials or whatever. I love the fact that you got a prayer committee. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, like, you go to church and you hear about prayer and the prayer ministry, but you actually have that for the group.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. So do you all pray before you rehearse and pray after and all that?
Definitely.
When we start rehearsal as if we're starting service.
Wow.
So it's nothing different from rehearsal to actual church service, being in a concert, being at a program. It's the same way.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. So much so that we're going to play I Want to Be Ready. Tiffany Early says, love that. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Tony from California. Anthony McKnight is watching. Cool hello to you. But we're getting ready to close out, but we want to encourage you to go on all digital outlets, purchase their music. We've been talking to Earthen Vessels right here on Church Chicago's Power Hour. Until next time, be safe and keep the love alive.
I got a name.
fuck me, making niggas think they can fuck with me. Stay with a small circle to ensure I stay sucker free. Peace to the niggas rockin', those that truly got love for me. To the women that be lusting me, they dreaming of fucking me. Lick your fingertips and rub your clit to this, and let my voice bring you the climax. My raps is more real than any 3D or IMAX. Listen and digest this fly shit like Venus flytraps. Raw shit that leave these rapping niggas all sick. They say jealousy and envy get you nowhere, so I'd rather not go there. These niggas panic when I touch mics, I'm Rudy Gobert. I ain't the type to talk jazzy while hiding behind the screen, naming Abby. You pushing buttons or trying to get at me, huh? I'm John Wick with the shit, I'm killing everything. While bitches sleeping on me, I'm setting fire to bed frames. Replacing alarm clocks with time bombs to bomb spots. This onslaught's for certain, these other niggas is long shots. Dousing your mattress in gasoline, it's asinine to try to find a rapper that rap is mean. I haven't seen a rap nigga that worried me yet. So far ahead of my time, I got fans that ain't heard of me yet. I'm not the nigga you should step to disrespectful. If I address you, won't be no rescue. They gon' have to dress you in a black suit and some dress shoes. Unless you suicidal or glutton for punishment, I'll never choose to rival the motherfuckers I'm running with.
Ascension.
Coming from where I'm from. Every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from. Still fooling. We done lost a lot where I'm from. Still watching fooling. For them niggas trying to plot where I'm from. Cause everybody trying to make it out where I'm from.
Look, where I'm from, you gotta decide your own outcome. When niggas keep the peace like King and still move like Malcolm. Get it by any means as long as income is the outcome. Hit that stop button when they mouth run. Damn, straight bullets through the skies that powder babies just like talcum. Heartbroken mothers pray to God and ask them how come. You kill one of mine, you gon' get outdone. Say yourself cause Batman ain't gon' save you here in Gotham. Where everybody grew up with a hoop dream. That ain't work, so now that brother out here trying to move peas. Shoebox stash and try and stack it up for that new V. Scat packs, Hellcats, SIT, that new Jeep. Ballin' like a school team. I get gone off one of them cones, stay in my zone, no 2-3. R.I.P. to all my dogs, this Hennessy hit concrete. Free my boys behind them walls until they see us all free. Till our day come, we gon' keep on ballin', chillin'.
Coming from where I'm from. Every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from. We done lost a lot where I'm from. Watching for them niggas trying to plot where I'm from. Cause everybody trying to make it out where I'm from. I'm from the city of Faux now. Folks in mode now. Blocks they strolling while the cops patrolling. Or they in the trap trying to whip that baking soda. Kids gotta eat, gotta make payola. Try to survive in the windy city of Shy. Where even if you got a job, you finesse on the side. Cause they steady raising taxes and the rent's getting high. It's getting hard to get by, you feel that pressure apply. Got some weight on your shoulders and some stress in your chest. Eyes bloodshot red cause you ain't getting no rest. I feel your pain, but you can climb out them depths. I know it's hard stacking bread, paying off them debts. But stay focused and maintain and keep going. And watch the ones that you keep the closest. Never leave your circle open, cause a lot of niggas out here serpents. Snakes in the grass lurking for service from where I'm from. Every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from. We done lost a lot where I'm from. Watching for them niggas trying to plot where I'm from. Cause everybody trying to make it out where I'm from.
Chip on my shoulder, big as a boulder from all the years I've been doubted, left out and simply looked over like niggas ain't see the massive potential. I see murder weapons where all you see is a pad and a pencil. I do for self, I learned you worth more when you ask for nothing. Thoughts of killing shit, my brain's a weapon of mass destruction. Nuclear thoughts lead to atomic verses. Me and Max attack with a common purpose. I stole them niggas, you stole out your mama purses. You bitch niggas been disloyal since KB Toys. The streets gave me poise, no Melvins, just a bunch of Rodneys and baby boys. Listen, I'm not the one that you should try your luck with. Get abducted, fucked up, and then left in a rusted bucket, biatch. Sick train of thought, only y'all can conduct it. Just when they thought I was dusted and not a touch, I adjusted, and bounced back like I had Spalding on me. I am God, the clouds open, now the sun's rays is falling on me. To the heavens is calling on me, my shit gon' be elite. Your shit is mystery meat, you say it's beef, but it's all baloney. And fuck these niggas and all they homies, they all is phonies. I'm riding till the wheels fall off this bitch and it's stalling on me. It's alarming these rappers think that we all in the same ballpark. Fuck y'all thought the disrespect is appalling. Standing over the witch's cauldron, concocting murderous plots to help me further my spot. Guess you can say I'm stirring the pot. Heard a lot of niggas think they fucking with the overlord or going overboard. Potent dope that's spoke from vocal cords. The key to success is possessing a gift that can open doors. Therefore the flow is nasty like infected open source. You a knight in rusted armor, equipped with a broken sword. Throwing rocks at a fire-breathing dragon, provoking wars. These is more than rhyming words, my nigga. I'm no thesaurus, I'm too complete for you to compete. My shit deep as the ocean floors. But yet I'm barely scratching the surface. Trust me, it's more to come. So motherfucking hot, I ignore the sun. Imagine if Yvonne Thomas ignored the conscience and chose to abort a son. We never would've got to bear witness to this historic run. It's effortless when I spit these descriptive works of art. I hurt your heart with these harsh realities till it burst apart. It's feeling like I'm about to have a great year. I take the fear and hate here and turn it into Shakespeare, motherfucker. Fuck you mean, bitch.
WIFTBPM.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on top. Before I ever put the arm and hammer in the pot. Daddy went home, told mama she could leave me on the block. If a nigga need work done, ain't hard to find. If you pay the right price, I be Johnny on the spot. Paid the plug extras just to fit it with a dot. 50 in the drum, only need 3 shots. I be telling these niggas I'm surgical with it. Ain't trained to be asking, I'm trained to go get it. If it's sustained, then you know I'm gon' hit it. Take nobody with me, don't need co-defendants. No lean in my cup, I don't need codependents. No pills in my blood, just distilling some gloves. And the steamer that's built and the bitch that's in love. Cause when I need an alibi, that's where I'm gon' be. West side of Chi, that's the home of 2-3. Used to breaking people cars parked at the UC. Fuck 'em, Chief said stick 'em, so we stuck 'em. I was leaning dick to these hoes, I don't love 'em. Waited long to get to these flows, I was stubborn. Got shit to say, gotta get it off my chest. Used to have to pack a piece to get a piece of mind. I ain't resting in peace now, so a nigga feel blessed.
A nigga from the bottom.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on the top. Focused on the win, I ain't focused on the op. Made it out the streets, but it still fuck the cops.
A nigga from the bottom.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on the top. Used to rise and shine, had to get my proper chop. Keeping one up in the pipe, cause the streets don't stop.
A nigga from
if you
the
start shit, nigga, I'ma finish. Knock a nigga foam off the top like Guinness. Sipping, used to be in Houston, steady tipping. Now I'm out in Cali where these niggas set tripping. I stay in my lane, the streets, man, they put me on game. How real you is, got shit to do with your chain and your watch. Real is what pump through your veins, what you doing when the streets don't watch. Life is a song, keep it moving, cause the beat don't stop till they put me in a box. Trying to get a bag, and I'ma get to it with a mic or a mask. If you try to stop me, that's a fight for your ass. Used to put the work in the bags, they was busting. If a clucker wasn't smoking, they was dusting. Had them nodding off like they was sipping Robitussin. About bread bullshit, it ain't about nothing. Niggas still capping for the hoes trying to front. 5 in the cipher, only smoking 1 blunt. No gas in they whip, only 1 clip between them. Got 2 guns, but they don't even clean them. Staying in their mama crib, running where your mama live. If you want smoke, I could bring a whole pack. Pull off with your bitch, let her run through the clicker. Put half on the Uber just to send the bitch back.
A nigga from the bottom.
From the bottom, but I'm leaving on the top. Focused on the win, I ain't focused on the op. Made it out the streets, but it still fuck the cops.
A nigga from the bottom.
from the bottom, but I'm leaving on the top. Used to rise and shine, had to get my proper chop. Keeping one up in the pipe, cause the streets don't stop. A nigga from the bottom. 100 homes, granny lived in the reds. 2029, first floor. Used to go to Suda where I did my first show. Then they did me dirty, so a nigga had to go. Transferred to Lundale, used to spell the words. Surrounded by them niggas in the hood with the birds. They was in flocks, dipping in and out of nigga blocks. Rip to the homie J-Rock. From the cradle to the grave, I be trying to get paid. Nigga, I'm a soldier, I ain't dying, no slave. I'm trying to be the ocean, I ain't riding no wave. Man with emotion, I ain't hiding no pain. Gotta make it home to my fam, I ain't dying for a chain. Keep it if you get it. Reaching on my how your brain leaking through your fitted. Came with your life, nigga, bet you ain't about to leave with it. Dig it, niggas won't believe it till they feel it. Keep the iron on me, I conceal it. I ain't copping out, take the time to appeal it. If I was supposed to have it, I could deal it. Pancakes flying off the skillet.
And just like that, we are right back at it at the Sunday Kickoff Kickback. I'm your man, Terrence Tomlin, coming to you live from the West End for the Black People Studios, man. Riding with me as usual on this beautiful Sunday. Well, excuse me, not this. I'm looking at Herb's screen thinking it's beautiful outside.
It's definitely not beautiful outside where we are, man. So
obviously, Herb is in a remote location where it is much better outside than it is here. But as usual, man, Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, riding with me. How y'all feeling today, brothers?
Herb?
Straight on the power, man. What's happening, man? I'm all good. Had to shoot out to LA. Little business, little pleasure, but it's definitely beautiful out here. Got a nice, pretty dope view, so I'm trying to soak up as much sun and be outside as much as I can while I'm out here. Cause
yes, sir.
I'll be back in the crib tomorrow.
Yeah, man, bring some of that weather back with you, brother. I mean, it was decent Friday and Saturday. It's decent out there now. It's just raining, which is cool because it's kind of melting the snow.
Getting that last little bit of snow out of the way.
Getting it out of the way. But it's all love, man. Good to see you, soaking it all up out there, Herb. I'm thinking about doing one myself and busting a move to Arizona because I need some sun myself, man.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a good feel, man. Wasn't gonna miss the show though. Wasn't gonna miss the kickback. Had to touch down with the brothers regardless.
That's the word.
You already know what it is, man. So for the rest of this show, we're gonna be living vicariously through Herb for the vibes, man. So without further ado, Gino.
Yes, sir.
I want to jump right into it, man, because it's a couple of things that you and I didn't get to talk about on the soil this week that I want to make sure we touch on today. One of them is, should we be thinking about changing the NBA logo from Jerry West to Kobe Bryant?
No.
That's just outright no?
No.
I want Gene to kind of explain that later on in the show. We'll dive a little deeper into it. But this started off as a football show. You feel me? It started off as a way to give us an opportunity to talk a little bit more about the Bears. And even though it's the off season, we can't shake it, okay? We can't shake it. The Bears are in the news, and we have to discuss the possibilities that are at hand for these guys in the quarterback position.
Y'all on y'all on this one, man.
Okay, we'll leave Gene out. I'm going to get your perspective on this first. We've already known that Deshaun Watson, quarterback for the Houston Texans, has been dangling out there. He's been standing on his square as far as he's been saying, I'm not trying to play another snap for the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Okay? So, of course, if you're the Bears, you're wondering what's it going to take to get Deshaun Watson. But then there's a new ripple to the story. There's another top quarterback that may be out there dangling and may be switching jerseys this offseason. Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks. Sounds like he's not too happy with what's going on in Seattle right now, and he's given the Seahawks a list of teams that he would like to be traded to, and the Bears are on him. The Bears somehow, some way, found their way onto Russell Wilson's radar, man. So, Herb.
What's up, man?
Is it a realistic thing that the Bears could go after Russell Wilson, and what are the hurdles to get over in order for that to become a reality?
Well, let me check the Sun-Times or the Tribune. Let me look in the obituary section and see if a certain individual.
Here you go.
Nope.
Is no longer
I'll tell
with
you right
us.
now, this is what you're looking for ain't there.
Okay, so if that is not the case, neither Deshaun Watson nor Russell Wilson will be under center for the Chicago Bears. It would be phenomenal if they were. I understand why both of them want out. Certainly what's happening down in Houston over the last 12, 18 months is just an absolute debacle. You talk about trading away one of the best players in the game at any position, DeAndre Hopkins. When you have a young quarterback trying to enter into his prime, you trade away one of the best targets for him. And then everything else they've done since then, it just continues to go downhill. There's a lack of trust between Deshaun Watson and the front office, and he wants out. And I understand completely why he does. Whether or not he'll be able to force his way out of there, it remains to be seen. Now, as far as Russell Wilson, it's a very, very interesting thing. Obviously, they won a Super Bowl when he was on his rookie deal. That is the formula financially to winning a Super Bowl right now. Unless you're Tom Brady, then you make it work. But other than that, the goal is to try and win a Super Bowl while your quarterback, who's ultimately going to be your highest paid player, you want to win a Super Bowl while that player is on his rookie contract, which the Seattle Seahawks were able to do. Now, after that, then they had to come up off the bread and pay him a lot of money. And once they did that, they were no longer able to sustain the one of the all-time defenses, at least in a generation or two, that they had out there with the Legion of Boom, and they had to get rid of players like Cam Chancellor, guys like Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman, and all those guys that were rushing the passer. They couldn't keep those players, and so obviously the team kind of takes a hit, and unfortunately, it puts players in a position to say, well, do I want to win or do I want to get paid? And once you win, you might as well go ahead and get paid, but then you don't necessarily get to turn around and say, well, this team ain't no good no more. Well, you took up all the money. Now, that's not really all the money because the owners are still getting billions and billions of dollars, but they want to make sure they continue to get as much as they can. So the players' pot is only so big. And once you give a large part of that to the quarterback position, there's not a lot left to fill out the roster. And so that's the situation that Russell Wilson finds himself in right now. And he said he wants to come out. Now, why he wants to come to Chicago, I have no idea. It sounds great, right? I would love to see Russ playing on Lake Michigan, but I don't really see that happening again. I don't think the Bears are willing to step up and put a player of his caliber as the face of the franchise when you talk about a black quarterback. So I don't really see that happening. It would be phenomenal, though, T. It really would be.
I feel like I gotta kind of insert myself personally, because usually I try to keep my emotions up out of it. But no. I'm not willing to embrace the fact that the Bears are this shitty, bro. I'm not willing to embrace the fact that with two of the best quarterbacks in the league dangling out there, that they won't try their damnedest to get at least one of them. And if that's not the case, I am packing my bags, bruh.
Okay.
Count Terrence out of Bears Nation.
Yeah, right.
This is the final straw, and I feel like it should be for most of the fan base.
They'll tell you that they tried because we won't know if they tried or not.
Right.
So they'll tell you they tried.
I think that we will know if they tried or not, because remember when they passed up on Deshaun Watson in the draft because he should be a Bear already.
How much later did we find that out?
But it came out that they didn't even interview this dude.
Right.
Didn't even pick up the phone to call him. Right. And I feel like that cannot happen again. I don't know how many teams are seriously kicking the tires on these guys right now. I think it's still kind of early in the process. Russell Wilson, I think his reps have come out and said, I don't think I'm going to be traded at this point. But every report that comes out after that says, well, he don't think he can be traded right now. A few weeks from now, when he's still singing the same tune, we'll see. Deshaun Watson, the latest update is that he's still telling the team,
right,
I'm not playing another snap for y'all.
But Deshaun Watson does not want to come to Chicago.
Now what? And if I was Deshaun Watson, I wouldn't want to come to Chicago.
So there you go.
But this is a fluid situation. This is football. You feel me? Yeah. What kind of position can the Bears put themselves in order to become a desired destination for Deshaun Watson? I actually think that it makes more sense to go after Russell Wilson, because then you can kind of mimic what Tampa Bay did with Tom Brady.
But for 3 first rounds, though, that's like 10 years out of future.
Goodbye.
And he finna be 33.
Goodbye.
What we gonna do with those picks anyway?
He's going to be 33, though.
I don't care about a single one of those draft picks, because I know
what they're going to do.
That we're going to blow them.
Yeah, that we're going to blow them. And the Bears have never had a quarterback of this caliber. At some point, you got to put your foot down and put a stake in the sand and say, we're going in another direction from this old school, prehistoric style of football that we
Yes.
playing. Nobody wants to see you pounding on the ground. Like, you don't even want to
3 yards in a cloud of dust, man. Yeah. That's how they play the game. And the game is not like that anymore. I think that if ever there was a time for the Bears to go all in on the quarterback, one of these two guys would certainly be worthy of them going all in. I just don't see that happening. I don't think anything that surrounded the circumstances for why Deshaun Watson isn't already a Chicago Bear, nothing about that has changed. They didn't even interview the man. He went to back-to-back national championship games. He put up phenomenal numbers against Alabama, which is, NFL caliber defense every single year. They send 5 and 6 guys off that defense to the league in the first, second round. So he was able to play well against that defense, which projected well for what he would do in the NFL. And we've seen him do that without question. So, the fact they didn't interview him says to me that they had no desire for that man to be their quarterback. And, again, you look at what he's accomplished on the football field, they certainly could not have been football-related reasons for why they didn't want him to be the quarterback. So I don't think that anything has changed about that. So I don't see them bringing him in. And then Russell Wilson, he comes with a hefty price tag right now. They're still paying Khalil Mack. You got Allen Robinson. That's a free agent. His contract is up right now, so you got to figure out what they're going to do with him. There's a lot of things going on, so I don't know if they can take on that contract. Not that they can't. I don't know that they will. The Bears haven't shown a desire to do anything like that. We weren't even really in on Cam Newton. Cam Newton was available last year, right? We didn't get in on that, and so we tend to go to the Mike Lennons and the Nick Foles and any other middle to bottom tier white journeyman quarterback to hope we can catch lightning in the bottle of one of those guys. It never happens, but I don't see them kind of pivoting from who they've always been and making a big splash like Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson. Now, for the 3 first-round picks, I get what DJ is saying. That is an expensive price tag. But
facts.
What does anybody have confidence that the Bears are going to hit on first-round picks? We've seen the Kevin Whites. We've seen Leonard Floyd. And I like Leonard Floyd, but they got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Mitch Trubisky. You know what I'm saying? So
Roquan Smith.
Well, Roquan Smith is a baller.
Kyle Fuller.
Baller.
Kyle Long. Before he got injured.
The guys that drafted the last 2 guys you just named,
I'm just saying,
ain't in the building no more.
It's the Bears, though. We said Bears. We didn't say general manager. We said the Bears. I'm just saying our first-round picks, the only one we missed on was White in 15. I guess you could say we missed on, even though he took us to the playoff. I guess we could say Trubisky to make you feel better.
100% a miss.
What? I don't. He's the number 2 overall pick ahead of Deshaun Watson.
You're right.
And ahead of Patrick Mahomes.
Correct. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's a miss, per se.
How's that not a miss, bro?
It's not a miss, but I'm just saying.
It is one of the worst misses in Bears history.
It's rookie Kobe in Utah missing, like airball 4 straight missing, like
damn.
But out of them picks, I only see 2 though, and that's Kevin White in 15 and Trubisky in 17. So Cal Long, you said,
bro, if you want to go back, you can continue to go back. You can go to Michael. You can go to the Michael Hayneses of the world. You can go to
you have to go to Michael Haynes.
Took it back to Michael Haynes.
Chris Williams. All these
that's
dudes,
their DNA. Yeah, I mean,
it's what they do.
And Herb, I feel like what you said to to tie up your point about them having to pivot and do something they don't usually do is definitely what we'd have to bank on. It's why I don't lose any sleep over the fact that they're available, because we know the Bears. So let me ask you two real quick. What is
we see that name in the obituary section?
Stop it, man.
Hey, keep dreaming. Herb, I'd rather you stay out in L.A. than to wait for that to happen. So I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think is the most reasonable conclusion to the quarterback position in this offseason for the Bears? I want you to chime in too, DJ.
Nick Foles will be the Bears' starting quarterback.
Woo. Oh, my goodness. He took it there first.
And by week 7, we'll be asking, what do the Chicago Bulls look like? If not, it'll be Sam Darnold.
Thank you, Chino, for just ruining my Sunday.
I'm about to jump off this balcony. Man.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Herb.
My goodness.
How do you see it going, Herb?
As painful as it sounds, it's certainly more reasonable or more likely that Nick Foles or Sam Darnold will be under center for the Bears than it is for Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson. So it sounds terrible, but it will be very Bearsy of them to enter week 1 with Nick Foles, with Sam Darnold, or Mr. Trubisky. I think that, I personally think it'll probably be Mitch if they can get him on some, mid-level contract for 3 or 4 years. I think it'll probably be Mitch. But if not, I can certainly see it being Nick Foles. And I've heard the talk about bringing Sam Darnold out here. The man flopped in New York. What are he gonna do out here? But I can see it happening. If I had to pick, I would say Mr. Trubisky. But neither of the two things that G said is out of the realm of possibility.
Hey, that's funny because me and Herb actually have a bet. I don't know if he was high when he made the bet, but he made me a bet that we was not going to have Mr. Trubisky, and I said that the Bears are going to have.
No. That is not the bet. That is not the bet. The bet was that they won't franchise tag him.
Oh no, they're definitely not going to franchise.
He coming back. I thought he coming back.
No, I said they won't franchise tag him because it's going to cost them $25 million to franchise him. Nobody's giving Mitch that bread for 1 year.
Well, Mitch definitely coming back. Like, I don't see nobody else. I got Mitch coming back.
I think it would be one of the most humiliating things to happen if they give Mitch Trubisky another contract. I mean, I feel like it is admission that you are average or less.
6-2, 6-3 last year. Like,
do we have to do this
he
again,
really,
DJ?
He really be on that, man.
I be confused on I don't understand.
Because
we won 2 games.
Because I feel like we watched those games together, but now I feel like, were we watching different games?
Y'all had to be because the man, I'm trying to tell you, y'all had to be because the man came in. I don't understand how you said that. And first
the
of all,
man came in and got his job took by Nick Foles.
Nick Foles came in there and won what? He won. I guess he came in and won a half a game, and then he came and won against Tom Brady. And then he came and won against Tom Brady, and then we watch him fall 6 straight. If I'm Mitch, I'm going there like, I won for y'all, and then y'all put this bum in, he lose. He goes 2-6, well, 1.5
But the thing is, the reason why he lost his job to a bum is because he's a bum too.
He's a bum.
How you gonna tell me?
Hey, DJ.
Before he got took out, he threw 6 touchdowns and 2 picks. What are y'all watching?
DJ, I'm leaving you on this island by yourself today. I'm not getting into that with these guys
It's
today.
cool. Mitch can call me. It's cool.
Dolo D.
But I'm just
Mitch is somewhere rolling up, thinking about his next destination. Okay, think about the next team he's gonna be playing for, because it won't be the Bears.
He just called his landlady and said, "Can I get a year extension?" That's what he just did right now. I know that.
And the landlady told him, "Virginia's my home." No, I'm sorry, Mitch.
Mitch.
You're not gonna throw a ball in this town again unless it's for an opposing team. So,
period.
But
that's pretty much what he does anyway. Throws balls in this town for opposing team.
Thank you, Herb.
You guys.
Thank you, Herb.
I don't know what they be. I don't know what y'all be watching, but all right.
On that note, can we take a break real quick, DJ?
Yeah, we take a quick one real quick.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back in a couple minutes. You are at the kickoff kickback with your boys, Gene, Herb, and T. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
WIFTBPM.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Ascension.
Coming from where I'm from. Every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from. Still fooling. We done lost a lot where I'm from. Still watching for them niggas trying to plot where I'm from. Cause everybody trying to make it out where I'm from.
Look, where I'm from, you gotta decide your own outcome. When niggas keep the peace like King and still move like Malcolm. Get it by any means as long as income is the outcome. Hit that stop button when they mouth run. Damn, straight bullets through the skies that powder babies just like talcum. Heartbroken mothers pray to God and ask him how come. You kill one a man, you gon' get outdone. Say yourself, cause Batman ain't gon' save you here in Gotham, where everybody grew up with a hoop dream. That ain't work, so now that brother out here trying to move peas. Shoebox stash and try and stack it up for that new V. Scat packs, Hellcats, SIT, that new Jeep. Ballin' like a school team. I get gone off one of them cones, stay in my zone, no 2-3. R.I.P. to all my dogs, this Hennessy hit concrete. Free my boys behind them walls until they see us all free. Till our day come, we gon' keep on ball link. Chillin'. Coming from where I'm from. Every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from. We done lost a lot where I'm from. Watching for them niggas tryna plot where I'm from. Cause everybody tryna make it out where I'm from. I'm from the city of Fo now. Folks in Mo now. Blocks they strolling while the cops patrolling. Or they in the trap tryna whip that baking soda. Kids gotta eat, gotta make payola. Try to survive in the windy city of Shy. Where even if you got a job, you finesse on the side. Cause they steady raising taxes and the rent's getting high. It's getting hard to get by, you feel that pressure apply. Got some weight on your shoulders and some stress in your chest. Eyes bloodshot red cause you ain't getting no rest. I feel your pain, but you can climb out them depths. I know it's hard stacking bread, paying off them debts. But stay focused and maintain and keep going. And watch the ones that you keep the closest. Never leave your circle open, cause a lot of niggas out here serpents. Snakes in the grass lurking for certain. From where I'm from. Every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from. We done lost a lot where I'm from. Watching for them niggas tryna plot where I'm from. Cause everybody tryna make it out where I'm from.
This is the Kickoff Kickback, and we are live from the West End for the Black People Media Studios. Herb, we seen you flexing over the break.
Hey, Herb.
Letting that camera pan over the water, man. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Man, got his shorts on, man. Come on, Herb.
Hey, Herb.
Hey, what up?
I'm sorry. Hey, Herb.
I think Herb is chilling on mute. He's
What up,
pulling
DJ?
the tea on us.
There you go. Hey, how's the weather out there?
Oh, man.
It doesn't matter how the weather out there. You think we care? Don't nobody care about your view, boy. If I was in the control room, I would have turned you off the switcher, man. I'm sitting here like, please take him off, man. Don't nobody care about you being in Cali, man. Next, keep going.
Y'all know me, man. It wasn't the flex. I'm just trying to bring the vibes to the peeps, man. That's
Nah, we ain't feeling that sun over here, bro.
It wasn't the flex. T said we was gonna live vicariously, so I figure on the break we'll check the views out, man. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
really is.
You stunted on the brothers, man. It's
Definitely
all
did.
I wasn't. That wasn't my intention. My intention was the exact opposite. I apologize.
Hey, Herb, hey, when one of the brothers is stunned, I feel like I'm stunned, okay?
You know what I mean? That's all
crazy.
I was on. I was just bringing the brothers with me. You know,
We're going to all walk outsid and put our damn jackets on.
Put our jacket on quick, like, oh, yeah.
Jackets on,
Living vicariously is over with.
Yeah.
But let's jump back into it, man. I was telling Gene over the break that I feel like the quarterback conversation for the Bears is something that's going to last all summer, at least until we find out what is going to happen with Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. So we'll put that conversation on ice. I'm sure we're going to revisit it soon.
Cuz said something interesting. He said Russ is clean enough for them to pretend to make an attempt, and they'll sell it like they tried.
That's interesting because but do they know his wife?
Yeah, but I mean, that's his wife. It's like Sierra is cool. Like she ain't.
Sierra is cool, and she ain't going though.
What you mean?
You know what I mean? Something like say something racist or inappropriate happens while Russ is on the Bears. Russ is not going to be the one to say something. Sierra's going to be the one to blow it up.
But that's what Cuz is saying. Russ is clean enough. Like, Russ ain't that guy. Russ ain't the fake LeBron, like the spokesman for social injustice and none of that. Plus, he's clean enough. So it's like he plays both sides well.
You know the quarterback who I feel like fits that description more than Russ? Dak Prescott.
Oh, no doubt.
I feel like Dak Prescott, if he doesn't get what he wants in Dallas and some kind of crazy way he gets out of Dallas, I think the Bears would be interested
That
in him.
is, I agree with that 100%. But I also think Jerry Jones loves Dak Prescott that much, where he's gonna take care of him.
Hey, real talk. It's been kind of iffy. We'll see what Jerry Jones is thinking. I think he had his heart set on Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? And now that that's a pipe dream, I don't know if he's like got back in bed with Dak 100% yet. He's like, man, I had one foot out the door. Now you saying I gotta stay with this man?
Gotta live with Dak, bro.
But you could do worse than Dak. You know what I mean? So the Cowboys would be very lucky to keep him.
The Cowboys did do worse than Dak. They had Andy Dalton. They saw what that looked
facts.
like, and I think that all of that did was increase Dak's leverage at the negotiating table. When he went down with that horrific injury, unfortunately, you know he's going to make a full recovery from that. But when he went down, they had Andy Dalton in there, and you know that it's just not a good brand of football. Now I can see Andy Dalton suiting up for the Chicago Bears. That's McCaskey like.
Definitely hurt.
I was thinking the pain was over in the second segment today. Andy Dalton in the Bears jersey.
I don't understand what Herb be saying. So now, when Dak went out and Andy came in, it showed that Dak was more important to the franchise. But when Trubisky went out and Dude got in, it showed nothing. Please help
It's
me.
because when Dak went out, he was averaging 500 yards a game, damn near. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
Dak was on the MVP pace.
He
when
got
went
pulled
out.
at
He was
halftime
already
versus
at the
the
negotiating
Falcons.
table for whether or not he's gonna get $40 million.
DJ, you on your own, bro.
I just don't be understanding. So
Go look at Dak's
know you don't
numbers leading up
Then he
to
came
his
back
injury.
and led us to the playoffs. He led us to the playoffs.
You on your own, DJ.
He led us to a spot, an extra spot that was opened up because of the pandemic.
Hey man, it's the rules. We voted on it. They voted on it. It went through.
Pandemic.
Fact, that is exactly. We'll give an extra spot for the
DJ, are you really saying that you're okay with Mitch Trubisky being our quarterback for the next?
No,
10 years?
Herb, he doesn't believe that.
I am.
He believes. You see his face, Herb. I wish you could see his
right
face.
now, like it's nothing out there.
I'm glad
Unless
I
we're gonna
don't.
draft a quarterback, but I don't want to. I don't want to trade. I've already seen us, man. We traded 2 first rounds for Jay Cutler. You know, we traded. And then we said
the best quarterback in Bears history.
Crazy.
Ever.
No, you
Best
cra-
quarterback
hey,
in
if
Bears
I take,
history.
I take Rex Grossman. He took us to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But Rex Grossman never
Grossman is our
finished even in the
quarterback.
playoffs. He was always injured. You know, and then he'd come back, shoulder shrug. Like you know, like I don't want to leverage our future. Like after we had got Jay Cutler, it was like after that we was really, really sorry for first round pick. I'd rather us either take, you know what I'm saying, Nick Foles and suck, and then us get a draft pick and use them draft picks to actually, you know what I'm saying, even if it take 3 straight. Strike out. The Carolina Panthers, they drafted the dude from Notre Dame one year. And then the next year they sucked again, and
Jimmy
they drafted,
Clausen.
and
Didn't
they
he play
drafted.
for the Bears
He
too?
played for. He was on the
he
Bears.
did.
Yeah.
And then they
One of those
drafted,
terrible
and
quarterbacks.
then the next year they had drafted Cam Newton. It can be like that, back-to-back first pick quarterbacks. Like maybe we need to do that, but to leverage 3 first round, I can't see it, man.
I feel like in the NFL, you have to be careful with the tanking idea. You know what I mean? Losing for 16 straight weeks is completely different than any other sport.
And very
it
easy
takes
for
a
us.
different toll on the team. Like, do you remember those early 2000 like 2, 3, 4 win teams?
Yes.
They cannot go back to that. You know what I mean? And at this very moment, the Bears don't have a future. Okay?
Yeah, 8-8 is actually bad.
Yeah, and
for the Bears.
if you're talking about worse than that,
No way.
no, you can't.
Yeah,
You can't drip further or drop further down the totem pole than the Bears are right now. Because even though they're 8-8, they are completely trending down. They probably have a top 2 or 3 laughing stock coaching staff and GM running this team. It is. They'll have a losing season next year, and it's going to be worse the following year because Nagy and Pace are going to keep their jobs.
Oh, no way.
That's cool.
They got to rotate.
So now, if they have a losing season, and then they be worse next year, that mean in 2 years we should be picking top 3. That's cool.
Man.
We just
and
picked
then
top.
what? We just picked top 3 when we got Mitch Trubisky.
I think we learned our lesson.
We just picked top 3.
I think we learned our lesson.
With Mitch Trubisky. If we learned our
I think
lesson,
that-
they would give up whatever they needed to get one of those top quarterbacks. But I feel like there's other reasons keeping them from that. You know what I mean?
During the Jay Cutler era, that was like the first time where the Bears had really kind of, instead of trying to build through the draft, they tried to go build through free agency and trades, and we saw the Brandon Marshalls coming in. We saw the Martellus Bennett's. We saw them sign Julius Peppers, going out and getting guys as opposed to, just trying to build through the draft. That was the first time the Bears really made those types of splashes in free agency, and it still never worked out. I mean, I remember how they made this big old deal when they signed Julius Peppers. He came in with Manu Maliula and one of them running backs. I don't even remember which one it was. I think like Michael Bush or something like that. I don't even remember which one it was, but that was when they were trying to make those inroads into free agency. That didn't work out either. The Bears they continue to make blunders. They continue to make bad decisions every single time, whether it's in the draft, whether it's in free agency,
whether it's a coaching position,
coaching position, whatever it is, the Bears do the wrong thing.
Mark Trestman, bruh.
Oh man, don't even
Mark Trestman.
No,
first year,
buddy after him.
John Fox.
I would say Mark Trestman came in his first year. He was number 2.
Who was he after Lovey?
We was the second.
We
was the second highest scoring team when Mark Trestman came in. It was only one team, and that was the year that Peyton Manning went to won a comeback player of the year.
Yeah, with Denver,
and we went 8-8. And we went 8-8.
I think we went 10-6 that. I think we was a little decent that first year. We was decent with him. I think.
No, we weren't. No, we weren't.
And don't forget. I'm sorry, Herb. Go ahead.
Nah, well, I'm just saying. I think we went 8-8 then too, and I think that 8-8 is really NFL purgatory. Like that is the worst place you can be. You're better off being 0-16 than being 8-8.
Yeah.
0-16 gives you an opportunity to kind of rebound quickly via the draft. 8-8 means you're not good enough to really make the playoffs in a normal year. Obviously, got us in last year with an extra team. Not good enough to get in the playoffs in a normal year, but also you're in the middle of the draft where you don't really have an opportunity to draft an elite player who can quickly turn around your franchise. And so the Bears are stuck in a terrible, terrible place right now. And unless they're able to pull off one of these deals to get a Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, then they'll be stuck in purgatory for the foreseeable future.
I feel like I agree 100%, Herb. You took what I was about to say and just laid it all out.
Yeah.
The Bears we know what position they're in. There's no reason to even continue to debate about the state of the Bears. It's bad and it's sad. Okay, that's just the fact of the matter. If they don't get one of the top quarterbacks that are available today, and they don't find a way to maybe draft a good quarterback, the options other than that are very slim. And
period.
If they end up with Mitch, if they end up with Nick Foles, if they end up with a Sam Darnold, go ahead and take your expectations down. You know what I mean? Go ahead and close that window of opportunity because the Bears will not matter at all.
I hope Nick leave and go and play with the Patriots and win a ring just so I can come in here that Sunday and laugh at y'all. I just hope I just hope Mitch leave now. I don't even want him to stay. All the disrespect.
Do you see what being a Bears fan to do?
All the disrespect.
They'll get you started.
Backup quarterback get rings too. That might happen.
No, Mitch. I want him to leave.
Mitch.
Yeah, I want him to leave us and go play for the Patriots and then show us that it was us and not him.
Show us what?
Tom Brady showed us that it was him. You know what I mean? Like,
they had Scam Newton.
Belichick ain't doing nothing with Trubisky, okay?
I didn't seen him do it with, what was that, Orton? Is that what his name was, Orton?
A better quarterback than Trubisky.
Kyle, 12-4 that year with Kyle? 11-5?
Yeah, Cal Orton didn't. I don't think he played for the Patriots. He got out of there.
Who was that?
He played for the Broncos.
But who was that had played when that year that Brady got hurt in the first game? Yeah, Matt Castle. Okay, Matt Castle. I was saying something like that. Okay, Matt Castle.
Matt Castle, Kyle Orton.
Just look at the other quarterbacks not named Brady. Matt Castle, Garoppolo, trash.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
DJ, I feel you. And honestly, I feel like I wish I felt like you. I feel like you sleep a little easier than I do. Okay? Like, you're not as mad at the Bears as I am, okay?
Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it.
I appreciate DJ's optimism too, but man, it is misguided.
I feel like soon, DJ, you're gonna be Gene. Soon in a couple months, you're gonna be like, look, I'm not even in it. Fam, don't even talk to me about them dudes.
You talking about Gene,
which is the worst place.
You talking about the fantasy champion Gene? You talking about that Gene? Sure. That's a compliment, Gene. I appreciate it.
If we counted the Super Bowl, we would have been tied. Just saying.
Hey, that's like winning. That's
the
like
place that you can be.
Winning the regular season MVP and winning the finals MVP.
Okay. I'll take that, Gino.
I can dig it.
Can we switch topics real quick?
Please,
and thank you.
No more Bears. We're laying them to rest until the next piece of update comes out.
Until Sam Darnold is
Next.
his press.
What
I
Martin
don't even
said,
want to see that press conference.
Okay.
Yeah, please don't, Sam. Please.
Gino, man. This past week we saw the 1 year anniversary of the celebration of Kobe Bryant's life. I can't believe it's been a year, since all of that transpired.
Yep.
And I feel like the conversation that is going to be prevalent anytime we discuss Kobe Bryant's name from here on out is going to be how we honor him moving forward in the league. And the conversation has been born. I think it was, we've been talking about it ever since he passed, but it's picking up a little bit more steam because Kyrie Irving came out and said, look, man, it's no debate. There's no questions that need to be asked. Kobe Bryant needs to be the logo. He needs to replace Jerry West as the logo for the NBA. And that Black Kings put the league on. You know what I mean? Put the league on the map.
I'm with that, but it ain't happening.
So let's start there. So why do you say that is not happening? Because, I feel like if it's anybody to kind of take over that, that stature right there, it's Kobe. You know what I mean? I feel like if it was MJ, we would have been seeing it, but he's grown to be bigger than the game. Like we see the Jordan logo throughout all the sports on football jerseys.
Right.
It's baseball now. You know what I mean? So I feel like Kobe embodies what the NBA means to most people.
I disagree, man.
So go ahead and enlighten us. What you feeling, Gino?
I mean, I'm a Bean fan, but I feel like it's become Kobe because of his sudden passing. I don't feel like
do you think that's fair? You think that's fair?
It's cool. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
In life, that's how it works. You celebrate it when you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where Kyrie is coming from, and I'm with it. I love the way Kyrie has kind of maneuvered, found knowledge of self, and doesn't really care what anybody thinks about his transition or his transformation or whatever you want to call it. So I'm with him, but I just feel like you said, the NBA is like those. It's like the Shield. It's like the NFL. It's like so something interesting that you said. Jerry West is the NBA logo. Says who?
Now, what do you mean? Are you trying to say that that's not Jerry West?
No, we know that silhouette is Jerry West. Does it say the NBA's logo is Jerry West?
No.
No.
Jerry West ain't made a royalty off of that logo. So
I wonder, and look, if you don't know it, help me out. What was the history of Jerry West becoming the logo?
it wasn't. They just
took it.
They took the picture, yeah, and then it's like when you
because I've seen the juxtaposition, you know what I mean,
side by side. That's obviously Jerry West, but at the end of the day, the NBA owns all of that.
Right.
You saw what we went through with El Mago. They own all
the names and likeliness,
everything
of each player. Now, I feel like that's the hurdle with MJ becoming the logo because isn't that logo owned by Nike?
Yeah, and we mean the Jumpman logo should be
the classic.
That should be
Jordan
the
logo.
I disagree with that too. As much as I'm Big Mike or nothing.
Now, how can you make it MJ without the classic?
Exactly.
You did.
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
how does MJ become the logo if you're not going to use that?
He doesn't. Simple and plain, he doesn't.
So this is just a debate that's going nowhere. It's a pipe dream.
Period. Leave the logo as it is, bro. Like, just leave it alone. I feel like there are better ways to continue to
honor Kobe.
Kobe Bryant. Like, they named the NBA All-Star Award after him. That's cool. Pretty sure further down the line there'll be more ways. I mean, hey, if that was an option, if Adam Silver and the NBA execs and the you know, the 1%, if they felt like being that progressive and making Kobe Bryant the NBA logo, I'm up with it. But that's just not gonna happen.
Here's what I think, and then I want to pass it to Herb. I would personally love to see Kobe as the NBA logo. Fro Kobe.
Right. What would the logo be though?
I want Fro Kobe somehow. Either the Fro Kobe or one of I'm sure it's a bunch of moments of Kobe's career that can be placed into the logo. That similar movement where the logo is now, the slashing where he has the ball and you with the Fro, you can see the silhouette of that. I can see that.
Right.
Whatever they decide, I just think they can find a way to make the Kobe the logo and then rename the NBA championship trophy after Michael Jordan.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Either the NBA championship trophy or the NBA
so
MVP
take
finals
it from the
trophy.
Larry O'Brien to the Michael Jordan
NBA championship trophy.
Wow.
And I feel like that may be something we see after MJ passes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like you give MJ that type of honor while he's living.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I just don't see the NBA doing that because we see it's taking Kobe passing away in order to, this conversation about the logo to come up.
Okay.
But I'm interested in what you're thinking, Herb.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm leaning towards no. I don't think that he should be the logo. That's not anything against Kobe Bryant. It's just to say that this was not the conversation prior to his untimely demise.
Exactly.
Tragic, and everything. But if you weren't talking about making him the logo prior to his death, then the fact that he died tragically is not grounds to make him the logo of the league. Not in my personal opinion. Now, I think there are a lot of things that you can do to continue to honor Kobe, to make sure that his name continues to live in lore and the annals of NBA history forever. But I don't know that making him the logo is what should be done. Now, if they were like, say, retired number 24 and number 8 across the league, like never again anybody in the league gonna wear 24 or 8 or whatever it is, and I'm with that. But making him the logo just because he passed, I don't like it. It's one of those superficial symbolic things that, like I think if you're gonna change the logo from Jerry West, it got to go to Big Mike first, right? And obviously it can't be the Jumpman, so it has to be something. I don't know if you get one of Mike's classic fadeaways or something like that. But I think you got to go Mike before you go Kobe, and so I'm not in support of changing the logo to Kobe Bryant. I'll do honor and respect to Kobe. I think there are other ways to do it, including retiring his number league-wide.
I want to respond to the idea that the next step, if it's not Jerry West, then it has to be Michael Jordan because, and add some historical, context to it if you can, Gino. But was Jerry West, and I'm sure probably in his time he was probably considered one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But
sure.
With so many years, since then, Jerry West is definitely further down that totem pole.
Says who?
Absolutely.
I mean, says a reasonable basketball fan.
Most reasonable basketball fans nowadays.
When's the last time we heard Jerry West is like in my top 5 or my top 10? And what my point is that I don't know if the logo is necessarily reserved for the best player of all time.
But again,
or
says?
What about maybe somebody that embodies what the league is the best.
Go ahead.
Mike gave you a logo. Mike gave you the logo. Game 6, 98 in Utah, game winner. He left the logo up there for you. Make that it. You know what I mean?
That was raw.
You talking about the push?
He talking about the push.
Come
He's
on,
always
DJ.
a hater, man.
So y'all don't believe
push.
So y'all don't.
No, he didn't push
So
that
Mike-
man.
Is
He
that-
guided him down
He
the
told
lane.
Byron,
It's
he
Byron
told
Russell.
Byron Russell, excuse me.
Take off that mask, DJ. We gotta see if it's Byron Russell back there, okay?
Right.
He told Byron Russell, excuse me, bro.
After he pushed him, right? After he
No,
pushed
that was
He did
that
not
was
push that man.
that was what you're talking about. That was excuse me, sir.
His whole hand folded like this is
No,
his whole
Byron Russell
DJ.
is 6'5", 230. No,
the
he can't push it.
momentum. Are you serious?
No momentum.
We can go on the
That's the
court
point.
right now.
His
I know you probably
his-
bigger
his
than me. And if you
momentum.
going this way and I push you a little bit, you'll be like, come on, bro. Like you will feel that.
DJ, he pushed
You
him
just
on his.
you just
he
answered
pushed
your
him
own thing.
on his hip.
His momentum
Pushed
took
him
him.
on. He pushed him on his whole hip. I'm telling you, he hitting his whole. Go pull it up. I
He's-
know you can.
He stopped on a
DJ.
dime.
On the break,
No,
I want you to
don't.
pull up on your screen.
You know how many times I seen you know I've seen
They
we've
do.
all
I'm
I'm
seen
gonna give
this.
you my glasses this time when you watch
No,
it. 'cause
sir.
You obviously not seeing
No,
it.
sir.
And this is a small story to what Gene just said. He stopped on a dime. Okay, growing up, we played football like crazy.
Right.
I've never juked somebody out of their shoes than the time when I had a cat chasing me. I stop on a dime and I watched his body fly past me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That the momentum will carry you when you cannot stop on a dime.
With a push.
You got the greatest.
So he didn't push him at all. Is that what you're trying to tell me? It was
he
He
didn't push
guided
him at all.
It wasn't a push. He just guided him where he was already going. You got the best player to ever lace him up, driving hard to his right down the middle of the lane for the championship. Brian Russell is doing everything he can to try and cut Mike off from getting to the lane. All his momentum is going that way. Once Mike stopped and brought that ball back, Brian Russell was going to continue to fly down that lane regardless. Mike just guided him on. Go ahead, bro.
And that was a move.
It's a guy. Like,
and that was a move that was the first time Big Mike ever did that. I'm pretty sure he thought Mike was going to dribble and pull up at the free throw line 15 feet. Instead, he pulled a trick out.
And Gino, to add some more context onto how difficult that is, I mean, we see players today just have to fade with that kind of shot. I mean, we see Zach LaVine all the time. That turns into a fadeaway jumper. You know what I mean? That was MJ showing greatness, stopping on the dime, pull up, top of the key.
Look at him. He over there watching it now.
You know he pushed them. People be killing me. I understand it's the great Mike. I understand all that, but come on. Please, pull it up. I'm trying to tell you. It wasn't a hard push, but if I'm going that way and I help you, it's no way I can recover because your hand is on my thigh. So
there's no way he can recover because all of his momentum is going to the lane to try to cut Mike off. He's not pushing him, bro. He didn't push him.
Okay, he didn't. I see Herb took he played a lot of football, so you don't know what a push is. Okay, but it's a push, bro. It's a push. But okay, he didn't push him. He didn't push him. We need some voting things up here that made.
Was it a push in '98?
97% yes. I mean 97% no.
No, 99% no. 1% yes. It's DJ with the vote.
And that's DJ.
Herb, I really love what you said about the pause of the form.
Yeah, that would be dope.
And then I can see the commercial being that play exactly.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. You know, I would love that. Of course, who's gonna complain with MJ being the logo?
But again, who says Jerry West is the NBA logo?
It was reported.
Reported by who?
The person that made the logo.
That he took Jerry West's silhouette.
Took Jerry West's silhouette.
Do you got a date on that story?
Yeah. It's actually right there. Like he did like a whole interview.
I remember.
Yeah, so he just said.
So why isn't Jerry West getting any royalties or nobody's getting anything but the NBA?
That's what I'm wondering because I feel like
once they sign those contracts, the NBA has the right to use their likeness.
Yeah.
So the same way you see it popping up on ESPN the magazine or popping up on SportsCenter or popping up wherever, you sign that contract, the NBA can use those images for whatever they want, including their logo.
There you go.
West didn't even know that he was the logo. It was like 6 years that it was the logo. He didn't even know it.
Exactly.
He didn't even know it.
Until you put those two pictures side by side.
That's crazy, right?
That's key.
Yeah.
So I feel like that changes the conversation from like what constitutes a change in the logo first? Like what was the logo before Jerry West?
I don't think there was.
Was it just it was just the NBA without a logo?
Let's look it up.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's only a few things it could be. If you're going to get it away from Jerry West, and there's nothing spectacular about that particular photo or that particular pose, except for it's become what we know the logo to be. But outside of that, I think that you can kind of look to things like Kareem's skyhook. That could be the logo. You get one of Kareem's best skyhooks, or you get Magic's skyhook in Game 7 of the Finals. That could be the logo. J-Bone in '98 could be the logo. For a dude from the south side of the Chi, from the hood, AF stepping over Tyronn Lue could be the logo as far as I'm concerned.
You know what's going to blow people, Herb? When they make LeBron the statue dunk, the Statue of Liberty silhouette dunk, the NBA logo.
Oh my God.
So in the 1950s, it was actually
it was just that
like a basketball, like a baseball actually, but it was, like
with National Basketball Association.
53, it was like one of them ABA balls with the NBA on it. In 62, it was a black and white ball that had NBA on it, and then at 69 is when they chose the silhouette of him.
I feel like when you think of the NBA logo and you look at other logos throughout the league, look at MLB's logo. Who is the batter
exactly
in that logo with the ball?
I don't know,
coming
but
out?
they should steal Griffey's logo though. That's what they should do.
100%. I feel that. You know what I mean? But yeah, the conversation of Kobe being the logo, unfortunately, because I would love it. I feel like you have to find more ways to honor Kobe. And yes, he did pass away tragically. But I feel like if he didn't, he would have become one of the greatest elder statesmen that the NBA has ever had. I feel like they're tasked with finding a way to make up for what would have been. You know what I mean? I think Kobe would have embraced, you know what I mean, doing anything that would have pushed the league forward, and to lose that kind of advocate for not just the NBA but also the WNBA. I feel like the NBA as a league is going to be scrambling for somebody to fill his role. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if after Chris Paul retires, we see him kind of move into that space. You know what I mean? But I feel like the NBA right now is left without somebody that they can like hang their hat on as somebody to be the voice of the league.
But I feel
that's not playing.
But
that's
what I'm saying. Before Kobe's passing, he wasn't that guy. Like Kobe had moved on to other. He moved on to women. He moved.
He wasn't that guy?
No, he was becoming the voice for. He felt like being a voice
got
for
daughters.
women's sports was more important than being a voice for the NBA.
That because he had daughters, but I think because of who he was. I mean, he was coming to games. I mean, like he was never out of the NBA spotlight.
That's the fan Kobe though. I don't think he wanted to be that guy for the NBA moving forward. I think he saw the bigger picture and was like, I need to live, like you said, specifically because he had girls that loved the game. And it's like, well, I need to be the voice for them. The NBA is fine without me. I love the game so much, and I spent my entire life, half of my life in Los Angeles. Of course, I'm going to be courtside at the games, and I'm going to bring my daughter so she can be close and meet her favorite players and all of that. But as far as being a voice that you're saying, which I feel like would have been cool, because Kobe, he was that guy. Like he studied Mike and he took it to the next level. And I felt like he could definitely be that guy. But I just feel like he thought that his job was to move elsewhere, and that was to be a
I think he wanted to make sure that by the time Gigi got to the WNBA, which she was certainly destined to be one of the bright stars in the WNBA, she was a star basketball player in the women's circuit at every grade level, every age, and there's no reason to think that she wouldn't have continued along that trajectory. So she would have been in the WNBA, and I think that Kobe was just trying to be as big an advocate for women's basketball as he possibly could to ensure that once Gigi does make it, she ain't out there, putting her body through everything he put his body through for $70,000. You know what I mean? She's gonna put her body through that for some M's, and he was gonna make sure that the WNBA was gonna be able to ascend to those heights. And so I think that, and plus Kobe's just a competitive dude. So once he gets done, he's never gonna take the easy road. You know what I'm saying? So like G said, the NBA has already said the NBA is gonna be fine. Let me see if I can build this WNBA thing up while my daughter is on her way to becoming the premier athlete in that league. So I think he would have left his focus there. Although he would have certainly continued to be a great spokesperson and advocate for the NBA, I think he would have put his time and attention into the women's game more so than the men's.
That's interesting, and I feel like it was definitely evidence of that going down before he passed. So yeah, I can't disagree with that on any stretch, but as far as the logo goes, Gino, I feel like you enlightened me to a point where I feel the NBA isn't concerned, with the logo. It's one of those situations where if it's not broke, don't fix it.
And the NBA logo is fine, man. Like it's fine.
It's actually a dope logo.
It's not actually Jerry. It's not like
it's the silhouette of an ex-NBA player. Technically,
it's the guy who did it, Alan Siegel, whatever his name was. He took the picture of Jerry West and modeled it after the picture. So it's not actually the picture of Jerry West. It's like it's modeled after.
It's a silhouette. Yep.
Like he just took the picture and then cropped it out.
Not his exactly. It's no face, no
it's
number.
Inspired by Jerry West.
Actually, it's not. It's not to a T. The Jerry West picture is like.
No, they got it's one on there where they're showing it.
It's crazy because the video that they showed of Jerry West kind of crossing over into that NBA logo silhouette, it makes you feel Like that, you know what I mean? Like that's an exact silhouette of Jerry West.
It's
Flip it. Let me see real quick, Gino.
I think it's clearly inspired by that photo.
That's the
you
word.
put it side by side.
Clearly inspired.
Oh, you see the
Obviously,
photo, right?
it's
You see
inspired,
the
but
photo,
it's
right?
not
It's
the
side by
exact-
side.
It's not the exact photo. Jerry West is going this way on this one. That
See,
guy's going. So that's what I'm saying.
What the logo is, though, it is a classic silhouette of traditional basketball.
1960.
You know what I mean?
It could have been any guy from that. Could be Bob Cousy if we didn't know. If we never saw
But
this
with
Jerry.
the opposite hand being up.
I'm saying that could be any white guy from the 60s in the NBA. Bob Cousy, John Havlicek, Jerry West.
Havlicek stole the ball.
Exactly.
Hold on.
The one I got is the exact replica.
That's what I'm looking. I'm like, hold on, DJ.
Let me see your screen, Gino.
That is Jerry West.
No, it's clearly Jerry West.
It's like NBA.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm saying that could be John Havlicek or any other white guy from the 60s who
Pistol Pete.
Come
on. Yes.
Leave the logo alone,
sure.
man. Let's find more progressive ways to continue to honor Kobe.
And just real quick, I don't necessarily want to see the Jordan Jumpman logo
Me either.
as the NBA logo.
At all, bro. At all.
I feel like that would be a little bit too much.
What Herb said would be perfect.
Herb killed it.
That
I feel like that is a picture that exists in every basketball fan's mind.
It's,
So
it's definitely in my mind. The after the push shot, I definitely remember that. That would be a good. That would be a good.
Who hurt you, DJ? Like you got money on
it must have been MJ. You must. Were you a Jazz fan?
No, I'm an MJ fan for sure. You know, but I just speak the truth. Like, you know, just like I tell anybody, I'm a LeBron fan. I believe that when LeBron was down 3-1, that the NBA fucking cheated for him. Like you take Draymond Green out the game with LeBron put his acting skills on. Oh my God, he hit me in my groin. Then you do that and
they suspend him.
And then suspend him. You know, at Cleveland.
To come back.
Then of course they win at Cleveland, get some calls, and then the next game they lucked up and their center was hurt. So and that's what the Warriors always missing a center.
Did the NBA chase down Iguodala and did the NBA chase down Iguodala and pin him on the glass like that?
I mean, come on.
Did the NBA hit that fadeaway? Did the NBA hit that fadeaway three?
If he wouldn't,
did the NBA hit that fadeaway three from Kyrie?
It wouldn't have been that.
Did the NBA hit that three Kyrie hit on the right wing? Did the NBA do that?
But they got some good calls.
Kyrie
I'm a
did that,
LeBron
and
fan. I'm
LeBron
proud
did
of
that.
him. You're right. I'm proud of Bron for that 3-1.
Just leave Mike out of the conversation when y'all talk about. But
please, we just gonna push Mike along the side. We ain't gonna bring him into that conversation. We're gonna push him on out the side.
Oh wow.
Whatever. That's cute.
On that note, let's take a quick break. We're gonna come back and wrap up this installment of the Kickoff Kickback, man. Some engaging conversation. I love what's going on in the comments. But let's take a break. We'll be right back at the Kickoff Kickback.
Yeah.
WIIFTBPM.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West End for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers, Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button. Smash that share button. And continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West End for the Black People Media Studios.
Lord knows that I've been avoiding mirrors. Every time I'm in them, see the picture getting clearer. But I value life more, cause my death is getting nearer. When my mama tried to warn me, nigga wasn't trying to hear her. Pulling on my rag, telling me to leave the game. One shit up in the crib, so the streets is where I came. If I had a daddy, then some shit would probably change. But that wasn't what it was, so I kicked it in the Saints. Had a little squad, young niggas went hard. We believe what we was seeing, we ain't thinking about God. We was thinking about work, who we gon' stick first. Cause my mama ain't half for me to get it out of purse. Big Vic taught me how to hustle till it hurt. Big Maul told me Peter Paul said try 'em all. Lost my big brothers and I lost my first son. I ain't look up in the sky, put my back against against the wall. If a nigga try me, he gon' feel it. I got a lot of pain, I've been trying to hold it in. I've been running from the pen, but it seemed like the only way for me to make it out is right about just how a nigga made it in. I had to be ruthless, couldn't have no remorse. I couldn't stay on that path, so I had to switch course. And the source was in me, cause it forced me to be everything I became in these streets. Lord knows I'm a product of the projects, and I took a lot, now I make deposits. Hella bones in my closet, I ain't here to bet my soul. If a nigga fuck with me, then I'ma put him in the hole. Lord knows I'm a product of the block, but the block don't define who I am. I'm a man, and if you ain't been where I've been and made it out, then I don't think that you could ever understand. Lord knows life is heavy on my heart, but my shit, it keep pumping, that's just how I'm built. Remembered I suffer from guilt, cause I went on the block when my nigga got killed. I figured if I was, then it could've been me, but I learned from all that, cause my growth has been the key to me opening the doors I ain't think I get to see. Now I'm at an age I never thought a nigga get to be. I'm an OG, best believe I earned stripes, did enough dirt, some could've cost a nigga life. Now I'm living like a square with the kids and the wife. I don't disrespect my blessings, cause I never think twice, but niggas better know I keep one up in the pipe, but I ain't talking about the label. Started out trapping, now I get to say grace. Either way, I ain't gotta save face, cause I still found my place at the table. Lord knows I'm a product of the projects, and I took a lot, now I make deposits. Hella bones in my closet, I ain't here to bet my soul. If a nigga fuck with me, then I'ma put him in the hole. Lord knows I'm a product of the block, but the block don't define who I am. I'm a man, and if you ain't been where I've been and made it out, then I don't think that you could ever understand. Lord knows.
We are back at the kickoff kickback. I think we proved. Okay, DJ, there was no push on that MJ Byron Russell final shot. MJ, that was one of the greatest shots of all time. I feel you, DJ. It was a different time in the NBA.
It wasn't a little bit. Come on, y'all, help me. He didn't push him a little bit.
He guided him.
He guided him.
If anybody here from Utah, please help me.
No, ain't no. I don't see Utah anywhere in the comments.
Any Mormons that's not in church right now? Can you
Latter-day Saints in the
please
building.
chime in and say he pushed him.
Hey man, I was actually kicking it in Salt Lake City, in Mormon City. I'll talk to you offline about that.
I never forget when Gino told me, he was like, "I'm going to Utah for a few days." I was like, "Oh."
It was a very enlightening experience. I definitely hit Mormon.
We've been talking about King Kobe all day. He ain't had no business out there, neither did you.
Yeah,
Gino. Hey, Herb, I'll talk to you tomorrow about that, bro.
Gino,
along those lines, we was doing a little show prep last night. Pardon me for the
y'all, man, brother.
Hey, Herb. Okay,
you saw the gifs of the gifs we sent you.
I did.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know what was happening. So once I realized that it was happening, I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Y'all
Classic Herb, man.
Classic Herb. I'm like, I knew it was the reason I messed with Herb.
Wait till I talk to Cuz.
But anyway,
it's only right that you're enjoying yourself out in LA, man.
No doubt.
Yeah,
having a good time for sure.
Let's throw a bow on this real quick, and we do have a little business at the crib to talk about. Zach LaVine is the first All-Star since Jimmy Butler in 2017. It's interesting because the NBA is kind of fast-tracking, kind of putting together on the run how they're going to do the All-Star weekend. It's going to be all on Sunday, next Sunday. We'll get the All-Star game, a three-point contest, and some version of a dunk contest all in one day. Okay, so I have to ask my brothers, you know what I mean, outside of Zach LaVine, because I'm sure we all feel that he is very deserving. Who are the guys that don't deserve it as much? Who are the cats that got snubbed?
I mean, this is gonna be a yearly conversation. Every year there's someone who feels like they should have been, they were snubbed. But I feel like that for the most part this year, they got it right. I would have loved to see, and you got to think about it. All-Star game has a certain meaning behind it. So it's like it's only right for Zion Williamson to be in the All-Star game, even though the New Orleans Pelicans stink.
It's
But
like a spot reserved for the top rookie. Or the
somebody
next
who's going to bring
up-and-coming,
excitement to the All-Star game. Somebody who, Zion is going to dunk. He's going to catch oops. He's going to do all of that. So that's and he's having a great season. Let's not get it twisted. But, they put a lot of stock into, if you're the man on your team, then your team should be winning. And New Orleans Pelicans are not winning. So, that's it's a toss-up for me. But I feel like other than that, for the most part, they got it right. I feel like Devin Booker shouldn't have had to be a reserve. He shouldn't have had to be an injury replacement for AD. If that was Chris Paul or if it was Rudy Gobert, I understand the Utah Jazz are having an outstanding season. They deserve 2 players. I have no issue with Rudy Gobert being there, but I feel like if there was somebody who Devin Booker could have replaced, it should have been Rudy Gobert. Maybe the Clippers. I'm not sure. PG and Kawhi.
Even over CP3, you feel like CP3 it was a little bit more deserving than Rudy Gobert?
CP3 is definitely one of the reasons why the Phoenix Suns are in 4th place in the West. But I feel like exactly what he said. This team doesn't run without Book. So, but we saw where Book. Without CP3, we saw that Phoenix was on the outside looking in last year. So with the addition of CP3, they're up to number 4. So I'm not mad at that. Thanks. CP3 is also the NBPA president, so he holds a lot of weight. He's just, he's 6 all, just past Big O, 6 all-time in assists. He's 7th in all-time.
He's having one of those seasons.
He's having a really good year this year. So if it was one of those two, Rudy or CP3, I feel like Book should have had that spot. And in the East, I feel like the East was good. I feel like maybe, Twan said it. I don't know if you saw my tweet.
I did see Twan say it, yeah.
But I feel like Tobias Harris was more deserving
than Ben
Simmons. I understand what Ben Simmons brings to the team. He's like the motor. Joel Embiid is the MVP. But Tobias Harris is the guy you give the ball to at the end of the game if you need a bucket. And, Ben Simmons is cool, 16, 8, and 8. Can't take that away from him. But Tobias Harris should. If it was me, I would have given my vote to Tobias Harris over Ben Simmons. And maybe Boston. They're underachieving this year. They got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are both having, 25, 6, and 5 years. The numbers speak for themselves, but they're not
they're not a top 10
4
in the East.
Yeah,
No,
so,
they're not.
DeMontis Sabonis is replacing KD since he's out past the All-Star break.
He's a beast.
The
Sabonis
Pacers
has had a good year.
Yeah, they're number 4 in the East. He's like 24 and 11 and 6 or something like that, 50+% from the field. But did you see what
numbers right there?
But the talk of the town is Jimmy Butler was supposed to be the replacement for Kevin Durant instead of Sabonis, and he said, "I don't want the invite if my boy Bam Adebayo ain't rotating with me."
I feel like that's interesting because, that was over the break. That was the first time I heard. I didn't see that news before we came here today. And I feel like one of the interesting aspects of this All-Star selection is I feel like it was more based on the first 30 games of the regular season than it has been in the past. And I say that because I feel like if this was a regular situation, Bam Adebayo would have got selected off of how good he was in the playoffs last year. I feel like the Miami Heat would have gotten Jimmy and Bam in that game just off that. And yes, I know they had a slow start to the season, but I kind of understand what Jimmy is saying. It's like, okay, the cat from Orlando, Vucevic.
Nikola Vucevic.
I feel like Shaq butchering his name like that. But and then you're talking about Zach, I'm like, hold on. The Heat represented the East in the finals last year.
But like you said, this was a topic like a couple days last week because somebody brought that up about last year, and it's like, well, this is a new year. The All-Star game is based on the first half of this season, not the last 8 games, not any games last season. This is a brand new season.
But see, now, in didn't you get a little bit of recognition if you had a coming out party in the previous year's playoffs? I'm thinking of Tayshaun, maybe Tayshaun Prince, I know probably.
Yeah, we played better the next year, so.
Yeah, one of the cats I remember kind of getting that boost of recognition because he had a coming out party in the playoffs.
Yeah, playing against.
Kind of catapult. You know what I mean? But I like you said though, Gene, I'm not mad at the selections this year. I think that they're more on point than they usually are. But I feel Jimmy kind of.
But I feel Jimmy's missed a bunch of games this season. So
he don't like
be
playing
there.
All-Star games anyway.
I don't think so either. I don't think that's really his style. But
he ain't an all-star game type of player.
Exactly. But I also
You're not
think
gonna have no highlights in that game.
I also think he hasn't played enough games. I feel like if anything, Bam should have been the lone selection from Miami. He's 20 and 10,
the leading
with
scorer.
like 20 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, 2 blocks, over 50% from the field.
He's definitely stepped into that leader role.
He's the leading scorer on the team. He's the leading scorer on the team.
Exactly.
So that's why I was confused. Like he right. He said, if you're gonna pick me, then how you not gonna pick my lead? And that's just like picking Scotty and not picking Mike. Like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Like, and to your point, like he been injured. So the whole time that he been injured, Bam been
holding
killing,
it down. Yeah.
Killing.
Yeah.
So I definitely.
But I like that. I like that. I feel like that's just.
Yeah, I respect it. Yeah,
it shows who Jimmy, who he's become.
Who he is as a teammate, for sure.
As a teammate, as a competitor, and who he's become over the years.
100%. I feel like the Heat are an interesting case because they've caught fire as of late. After that Lakers game, I think they've won like 5 or 6 straight. I don't know if they won or lost last night, but they've been on fire. So
yeah, they beat the Utah Jazz the other night. That was a big win.
The Heat are on fire right now. So
now I'm interested to see how this All-Star game plays out next week, man. It's
me too. I feel I'm not excited about it at all, and it's crazy because yes, it was in Chicago last year, but it was a great weekend of All-Star basketball. The dunk contest, 3-point contest, the All-Star game. It was on point.
All of this stuff is going to take place in one day, right?
One day.
Just going down all in one day.
It's crazy.
One
That's
stop.
Be crazy.
You know what I mean? You know what would make me feel better, though? And we'll take this to the end of the show. Why is Zach LaVine talking like he's not going to be in the dunk contest? I mean, I understand that
What do you mean?
He's done it a number of times before.
What does he have? Why should Zach LaVine be in the dunk contest?
Because he's an all-star now.
Man, he got to save his legs, bro.
Yeah, we need them.
He ain't 20. He ain't 21 no more. He ain't 30 either, but he's not the young Zach LaVine from the Minnesota Timberwolves. This guy is leading a franchise right now.
That's true. You know what I mean? I still feel like Zach.
Nah, man. Lead that to
Put on the cake, fam.
Nah,
like,
lead
the
that to
dunk
Zion.
contest
Yeah.
I low-key and I like Zion. I think he would kill in the dunk contest.
Right.
But Zach is probably still my favorite dunker in the whole league.
Yeah, but now
he's still that dude.
But he's not that dude no more. He's now playing for a max contract. He's leading a franchise.
He's going to get that.
He's going to get
He's
that.
got to.
He's getting the max contract.
He's got to
With us.
save his legs, bro.
For a playoff run? Like,
for what? Yeah.
I just wanted Gene to admit that the Bulls are in the.
Please, because
Well,
Gene's been shifting. I'm peeping it too.
No, I'm not shifting because I'm still not convinced. Y'all can stop with that. They're still under 500. If
They are a game.
beating the Phoenix Suns the other night, that's when you can gain my respect. You don't go up 15 on the Suns in the fourth and lose the game. That's the Bulls that I know. Back to and what I'm gonna stand on, T. 77% of the league is Pelican-esque. The other 23 is Clipper-esque, and that was what I meant. The other night was exactly what that means.
I'm not mad at them losing to a team.
I'm mad at them
that
losing
they
like
was-
Billy
that they
Donovan
was
was.
supposed to lose to.
anyway.
No, they're
Yeah.
not supposed.
No,
How are you supposed
when
to
you're up
lose to a
15 in the
team
fourth,
Because
up 14 in the fourth? You're not supposed to lose to them.
He wasn't saying that. He's saying like before the game even started.
No,
like,
man.
but the point is they were up 15 in
and
the
I
fourth.
understand they were up.
Nah, man.
You don't get to go back like that.
But the Bulls are not there yet. And I understand.
So that's my point. Y'all talking about a playoff run, and I'm not because they're in 6th place. And if you lose 2 games, then you could be back in 10th place.
They in 8th.
I feel that.
Time.
They was in 6th before that game. Now they're in 8th. If they lost today because the game is canceled against Toronto, if they lose to Toronto, now they're in 10th.
Well, it's postponed.
Right.
But if they win to Toronto, they in 4th.
That's my point.
That's how
trash the NBA is.
That's how
right
trash
now.
the East is because the West, I think, to kind of go against you a little bit, Gino. The Phoenix Suns are head and shoulders better than the Bulls. If they lost that game to the Bulls,
They're not.
It would have been one of their most disappointing losses.
I don't think they're better than the Bulls, but Up 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Right, that's the point.
The team the Bulls are now, they should not lose to the Phoenix. This is what we were talking about the other day. Baby steps. That's the next step for the Bulls. You cannot lose those games.
I don't know
how
if
to
that's
finish.
the next step.
I don't know.
No, it is. You gotta learn how to
I
finish.
definitely agree with him. Like, you have to finish. You know what I'm saying? Finish. If you look at their losses, a lot of their losses, I don't know how many times I done came in and did a show for y'all, and y'all be like, up 20, up 15, and them, you got to win them games.
The fact that they don't close games is definitely one of their problems. But as far as where the Bulls are, I don't think they're at a spot where I'm expecting them, even with the lead, to beat teams that are better than them. I totally was watching that game.
They are 15 in the fourth. You expect them to win that game?
But see,
you expect anybody to win that
game?
game?
Did you hear Billy?
I didn't. I knew they were going. I mean, I knew they were going to blow
Me
that.
too. But Billy Donovan, that's what I want to hear from him after the game. He said, I was disappointed because that's a game. This is the growth that I need. And he said the guys would, because you know how it goes. Once you gain a rhythm, once you start believing, now you go out thinking, like Thad said, we can win every game we play. Mm-hmm. That's a mindset. Now, obviously, the Clippers are going to be better. The Lakers are better. They're teams that are head and shoulders better than the Bulls. But when you come out and you're up 15, that's a game that you have to win. Up 4 or 5, understandable. 15.
I 100% agree with what you're saying. Like, totally, if you're up 15 in the fourth, that's a game you're supposed to win.
Right.
The Bulls, I don't think the Bulls are there yet.
Me either. For sure. Me either. I agree.
And what I think the Bulls need to learn how to, and what they've been doing, they're beating the teams that they're better than. Yep. They're competitive in games versus better teams.
Yeah. They almost whooped the 76ers. And the 76, that's what I'm trying to say. And that's progress. And I'm with you. We should close games, but that's progress because if we seen us play the motherfucking 76ers last year, you wouldn't even turn that damn TV on.
That's a game I'm skipping. I don't even got to watch that.
Turn that TV on, but like now you go in there and they can put up points and everything. I do think we need to get better defensively for sure.
But I also think that this is something we always talk about, T. I don't think that there's that huge of a difference in teams. No team is 20
that's
points
your
better.
Point to the,
yes, no team is 20 points. No team in the NBA should be 20 points better than another team. From the
totally
Clippers to the whoever the bottom team in the league is. No team, the talent is not. There's not a huge. Now, as far as the star players, okay, if you got PG and Kawhi at the end of the game,
period. And that's I feel like that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I know the Bulls don't have the talent to kind of close out. I mean, they maybe still be relying too much on Zach in a game
100%,
like that.
100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you look at the Phoenix Suns, the way they're built, the way the way they're being coached at this point.
And the way Chris Paul played.
Because you see Chris Paul, I mean, you got a real coach on the floor in him.
But like the first
he didn't even
6 minutes, that's what I'm saying. The first 6 minutes, he was
20.
turning the ball over all types of ways. I'm like, they're giving us the game, bro. But like you said, I definitely knew they were going to come back and win because I agree with you.
Everybody shot terrible.
That's not who we are.
Like 30% on the game.
That's not who we are yet. So.
Yeah, but like I told y'all, don't worry. Next year, somebody gonna come play with Zach. I know you don't want to believe it, but somebody, Zach is making a campaign. Now watch what I tell you.
I'm a believer, DJ.
I don't believe that.
Somebody is gonna come play with Zach next year.
It don't matter if it ain't another Max player.
I'm telling you, a very, very. I don't know if it's Max, but that dude, like how Zach came to us and he wasn't but he's gonna be very, very good.
This is the last thing I'm gonna say, but this is what I told Gene Herb. Okay, I said. Karl Anthony Towns would look good.
Did you see that?
In a Bulls jersey.
Somebody put him in a Bulls jersey and they initiated like some NBA 2K type of trade.
Come on. I mean, Zach has the relationship. I don't know what the hell's going on in Minnesota right now. You know what I mean? It's looking like Karl Anthony Towns is going to be the next to go. You know what I mean? We've seen Wiggins. We've seen Zach LaVine go. Karl Anthony Towns is next to see if he's going to leave Minnesota. And the way the Bulls are ascending, I think it would be a perfect landing spot for him to team him with Zach, and then you go from there. You add, go from there, add another piece.
I love to see.
We'll see.
That would be nice. And then they already drafted that guy like Patrick. I like him.
We got
I like Pat.
He's in dog training right now.
Thaddeus Young. Ooh, Thaddeus Young has been showing like I love his
needs
lead.
to go though. We need to
go.
Yeah, he ain't in our. I love Thad is one of my favorite guys.
His leadership, like he do everything.
Nah, but he got to go. We got to get him out send
For
him
the young
somewhere.
guys.
I
Get
feel like
something in
Thad
return.
can't be that important to your team, right? You know what I mean? If Thad is one of your most valuable players, then it's an issue. And I love the way he's playing, but I think he's playing to be on a contender. You know what I mean? He knows that he's the prime contender to be moved to a team that matters. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's been killing it. I think that the guys are playing well with him.
Yeah,
We're not going to miss Thad Young. You know what I mean? And respect to him, you know?
Yeah, Wendell Carter taking steroids. I see it. I see him playing.
I still think he's a bum. But
He's definitely a bum, but he's definitely taking steroids right now. He was injured, came back balling. I don't believe it, bro. All them years I see you play, you're trash. Okay, you just don't come back.
He's young. You know, he's. I feel like one of the younger acting cats in the league. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's a baby.
Wendell will be a senior at Duke right now.
Oh yeah, he's a baby out there. See now, I'm interested to see what the Bulls look like when Lowry come back. I mean, we've spent a lot of time without Lowry.
They played a lot better without Lowry.
I think he came back last game.
No, he's still not doing anything basketball related.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
on that note, are we? Tell me, Gino, are we good?
Hey, man.
Yeah, we got it. Mitch coming back.
Oh, wow.
Mike
We
Push.
just couldn't.
Herb, just go ahead and get on with the rest of your day on that.
Herb out there.
Man, DJ.
Hey, Herb,
DJ
how's your
is
weather
the
out there?
Whatever, man. DJ is the most. He don't give me twice. DJ is the most optimistic dude I've ever talked to in life. He believes wholeheartedly in Mr. Trubisky, and he also believes that the Bulls are going to secure some top 5 level superstar to come play with Zach next year. I don't know what is going on 290, but give me some of what DJ got.
Top 10, though. Top 10 for sure.
Nah, that's interesting. We'll see how it goes for the Bulls. They're coming up on the second half or the halfway mark of the season. I don't know if you guys saw, but they did release the rest of the schedule. So these guys are locked in for a full 72. I mean, we'll see how the Bulls handle it, if they're going to be a playoff team or not. With the bottom 6 teams in the East as jockeying for position the way that they are, I feel like the chances the Bulls get in this season are high.
Yeah.
And we go from there. It'd be if the Bulls get a 7-game or a 6-game series out of a first round playoff matchup.
Like Indiana, you don't think we could beat Indiana?
I think we can have some fun with Indiana. I'm not gonna say we can beat anybody in a series right now, but in the Eastern Conference, the Bulls are a team that matters, and regardless of what that really means, because Gino is always reminding me, hey, we're talking about a sub 500 squad, fam.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't see the Bulls winning a first round playoff matchup. I don't care. I mean, they would be much better.
We can't beat
in the
them.
6 in the 5.
Where they
6,
get that 4 versus 5 of
or 3, depending on who. You don't
we
want
don't
to
need
face
3,
Brooklyn,
right,
Philly, or Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Indiana. I mean,
no, it's not. It's Philly, Brooklyn, and the Bucks. Milwaukee.
Oh well, you don't want 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, they don't want any of that.
No, 4 is Toronto. We can whoop. It's Toronto, New York, Boston.
They don't want that smoke
either.
either.
Any of those. You're not beating.
They got championship pedigree. That's what we were just talking about. The Bulls are at a place where they can compete, and that's fine. And whoever they play, they'll be able to compete with. Nobody's going to sweep them. Nobody's going to blow them out every game. They'll be able to compete, but they aren't in a place where they're able to finish. And that's what we were just talking about the Phoenix game. So you talk about them playing Toronto. Toronto got a championship pedigree up and down their roster. Those guys just want a ring. They understand what it means to finish. The Bulls are not there yet. They cannot beat the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, half of those guys are still there. The Boston Celtics, you definitely don't want to see them. You don't want to see Kyrie and James and KD. You definitely don't want to see Joel and them.
If the Bulls get a chance to face the Raptors in the first round, we're talking about Zach LaVine becoming a star, because the Bulls are sending the Raptors home.
Oh, no way.
That's my boy. I mean, they got and then they play New York. We ain't beat New York neither, huh? New York, the 6th seed. We can't beat them neither.
New York 6 would play 3.
I'm just saying, but let's just say if it was 4 or 5, I'm just saying, like, these are just teams.
I don't have the Bulls beating the Knicks in the playoffs. No way.
What?
No, I'm putting my money on Tibbs, bro.
Oh no.
I'm putting my money on the Knicks over the Bulls right now.
No.
Yeah, well, I would.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
I would put my money
Y'all,
on the Knicks.
y'all
over
got
the
a
Bulls.
sub 500 team going to the Eastern Conference Finals or something.
No
Y'all
way.
good.
No,
I'm not an Eastern Conference final. I'm just saying, if they play Toronto or if they play the New York Knicks, I got the Bulls.
Don't disrespect the Toronto Raptors, Joe.
I'm not, but they leading scorer now is Van Fleet.
He just signed
Part of a
for
champion,
100
man.
mil.
Can't
That's
underestimate
cool.
it.
That's cool. It's him, Kyle Lowry, and
Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, but he'll
And-
hurt in that. Yeah, I mean, but he'll be playing already.
Champions.
I still think. I mean, but we know why they champions. The claw. I mean, we saw them win.
The issue with the Raptors and the Bulls, I feel like is Zach LaVine would be the best player on the field
There
every
you go.
night.
There you go.
You know what I mean, excuse me, the best player on the court every night.
Yeah, so was Barry Sanders every time he stepped on the football.
Say it again, Herb.
See, now
You know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
like it's different in the
football,
NBA,
yeah.
and I feel like this is why the Bulls had a chance with Rondo and Jimmy and Wade. And who were they playing that year?
They played against Boston. They
Yeah.
was up 2-0, and then the mob said, "Cut that shit out."
Who hit this? Rondo broke his finger.
Rondo after he played the whole game, right?
Broke his hand falling. But Jimmy was the best player every game. You know what I mean? Rondo was the second best player most of those games. You know what I mean? I just feel like in a playoff setting when it's mano y mano,
In the
the
game,
Raptors would have a lot of trouble with Zach LaVine.
I doubt that. The game is going to turn up. They're going to lock in defensively. We'll take the ball out of the same way they'll take the ball out of Zach LaVine's hands, and somebody else has to win the game.
I want to ask you something about playoff situations compared to regular season. We spend a lot of time saying that about what one player can do as far as the impact. But don't you feel like in the playoffs, one player can impact what goes down even more?
Not if you – Steph Curry is not impacting the game without Draymond Green. We don't have it. Like, the way the Bulls play in the –
And 100% agree. But see, now that if we keep that, that is where he becomes even more valuable.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But this is a 7-game series. It's not winning one game. We'll make the adjustment. What we're not gonna do is let Zach LaVine beat us. That's what we're not gonna do.
I see Zach going down swinging, man.
Oh, no doubt.
Like
no
I
doubt.
watched. Remember them years when it was just LeBron on Cleveland? He had people.
But now you're talking about 6'8", 260.
Well, I'm just saying, just the best player on the court, like how he would go.
But you're talking about an all-time great. Zach is still got a long way to go.
way to
but
go.
Then, but there's no disrespect to Zach.
And we haven't seen Zach in this position.
True, I agree. I feel like he would definitely still get his, but at the end of the day, this is when you got to be able to make plays for your teammates and make the players around you better. And I just don't see it. But I would love to see it. I would love to see Zach take that next step. I think he's more than capable. But I feel like Herb said, the Toronto Raptors have the championship pedigree. They've been there for the last 3 years. They know how to get it done. And, they still got 4 or 5 guys from that. Yeah, we know the Claw was the MVP, but he didn't win that alone. Like, those guys, Fred VanVleet, that was just coming out.
That was just coming out. You're right.
Kyle Lowry is steady,
on the trading block right now, but yeah,
He is.
Right.
Yeah, he good.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam, he had a tough season last year, but I haven't seen his numbers or heard him really this year.
Yeah, same. 20 and 9. The league catches up to you. You got to make the adjustment.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't bet on the Bulls beating the Raptors in the playoffs in the 7-game series.
Nah.
But crazier things have happened.
We shall see. I feel like I hope I don't end up regretting standing with you, my boy DJ.
No, we good.
DJ,
we're in it. We in this to win it though, bro. I feel
it's not this year. We know they're gonna get slapped up, but next year it's gonna be. I don't know who free. I'm gonna go look at it, but some free agent is gonna come over here next year. All right, man. Some free agent. I don't know if we're gonna trade or something, but somebody's gonna play with that. We're gonna unplug it.
on that note, let's go ahead and kick the tires on this installment of the Kickoff Kickback. Herb, I'm so happy you enjoy yourself, man. Hopefully you bring a little bit of sunshine back to your boys over here at the West End for the Black People Studios.
Something, brother.
But
I do my
until
best.
then,
I don't want it.
go ahead and soak up that sun, brother.
I don't want it.
For Gino, for Herb,
Reese.
for our boy DJ, I'm T-Time, man. Y'all just tuned in to the Kickoff Kickback. We will be back in full effect next Sunday. Till then, y'all enjoy your weeks. Peace out.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Better keep your bitch on the leash, or I bet I catch her. She give me brain like professors, that whole extra clever. All she get is dick and refreshments, don't ask extra questions. We in the party with some weapons, keep yourself together. We hot, dog.
shit on us, yeah, we came with relish. Make it rain on the dancers, fucked around and changed the weather. Me and my brother know how to maneuver, been in it too long, bitch, we know what we doing. Get off them drugs and turn into bull. Whole gang off the yang, we rollin', we groovy. Lord here tweaking on all kind of bullshit, he clutching the 40, he know how to use it. Them hoes just peoples that slid in between us, they happy to meet us. You know they be choosing. Yeah, we get to the money usually. The fuck are you doing? All that playing tough just to get stumped. The fuck are you proving? Call my homie Quan, shorty low, he pulled up in some foolish. He say them drugs been doing the U-Haul, constantly moving. Saucy, big drip on me like a faucet. I'm awesome, hot as coffee, slick talker. I can't keep these hoes up on me. Hit the bank, make a deposit. Lames look salty, must feel awful. Hit the bank, make a withdrawal, walk out. Pockets bulky, no, the ops don't want no problems. They maneuver real cautious. We keep them pistols in unreach, get you folded like laundry off them drugs. I'm a zombie, fuck a bitch till she exhausted. Whole section full of bosses, y'all just watch them call it. Long Lil Tito and Go Curry, them boys with some bosses. We calculate our every move, can't afford no more loss.
Drop top cruising, old school music, old school juicy. Gotta make my way to you. Pull up on that ass like, ooh, I wanna take you to New York, Chicago, LA, Houston, down all over London, Paris, the A, the Bay. Things in life, I wanna take you downtown, show you all the kind of things in life. I wanna take you down. I wanna take you down. I wanna take you down.
Hey friends, happy Sunday. Welcome to Inhale, Exhale. Danny, I'm so sorry for those little technical difficulties we were having at first.
Oh, it's okay. You know, we don't make it work. We gonna make it work and make it happen. We here.
Look, all the time, right? Always coming through. And so I am so grateful that we are on What's in It for the Black People Media, because that means that if we got to go a couple minutes late, then, you know, we can do that.
They holding us down.
Absolutely, absolutely. So welcome, friends. Thank you guys for joining us this Sunday. Welcome to Inhale, Exhale. We're your health home girls. I am Dr. Audrey Tanksley.
And I'm Danny Tam on your line.
Yes, and again, welcome and joining us here every Sunday at 5 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media. As always, we want to say welcome to all of our guests that are joining us here in Facebook Live, all of the folks that's joining us on YouTube. And we're going to jump right into a lot of things today. Also on Instagram joining us. Danny, we all over.
Period. We everywhere.
We everywhere. So thank you.
We omnipresent.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. So welcome to everybody who is joining us here. I am going to put our guest name up, even though I haven't introduced her yet, but just so you guys will know when we get into that conversation. So welcome again, y'all. Look, I got to get myself together. Let me calm down for a minute because we was having so many technical issues. I just need to inhale, exhale, right?
That's it. It's okay.
That's how it always is. Oh, and that just felt so good. That felt so good. So how was your week, Danny?
My week was good. Just getting a lot of things done, being at home, which feels good. So housework, getting the kids in order, you know, mommy thing. But it's been feeling good to have some downtime and chilling at home with the family. How about you? How was your week?
You know what? My week was good. You know, I'm week 2 with no coffee. And so this is actually a really good week.
Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I was busy, so I didn't really have to think about that. I have a lot going on in my real life. And, you know, it was real. But I'm looking forward because my birthday month is coming up.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
March Madness.
March. And so I'm looking forward to March. We got some good programming coming in March. And so you guys make sure that you
like, share, and comment in this broadcast. Make sure that you join the Inhale Exhale group and the What's in It for the Black People media page so that y'all can have some madness with us in March. Right, Danny?
Yes. Yes,
Absolutely.
that's true. And don't mind me. I'm inviting people as we speak. So I'm here. But I'm letting these people know tonight's
Get them in
topic
here.
is
Get them in the
good.
room. Get them
Yes,
in the room.
I'm trying
Get
to
them in the
get
room.
ready to hear what's going on, how to
Look.
co-parent and all that stuff in a good, healthy manner.
Absolutely. And so, speaking of which, let's introduce our guests since we are going to start talking about jumping right into this because, like I said, we had a little technical issues. But as always, DJ is holding us down. So thank you, DJ, for getting us together.
Go, DJ. Thank you, DJ.
Always room to dance, right? Ooh, this is good already. Look, I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling, I'm moving. Like, this is just health in abundance already. All right, so welcome. I'm going to let you and Miss Tanika do a lot of this show because I'm looking forward to what we're talking about today. You know, as always, I'm always talking about how we have to have healthy families, you know, and when we talk about families, so often we're talking about families, you know, right in the home, but so many of our families are not the traditional mom and dad at home, right? And they may have two different households or maybe a family that's blended with other, that's not your biological parents in the home. And so I am looking really, really forward to this conversation tonight where we can talk about some ways to make sure that we are being healthy and raising our kids. And you know, Danny, I'm going to say this last little thing because you know I could talk, but last little thing I'm gonna say before we hop into it. You know, I was thinking about this topic, and you know, so near and dear to my heart is trauma, and I focus a lot on trauma because that's what I do. You know, in my daily work is work with a lot of patients who are from low income communities and experience trauma on a daily basis. And so, as I think about that, and I often talk to them about the homes they grew up in and what was their childhood like. I see this generational trauma passed on a lot of times in the way that we parent, but also in some of those environments that we expose our children to. So, you know, there's a lot of overlap, not only with mental health, but with physical health and with, you know, with children as they get older and the choices that they make. So this is such an important conversation to have in our community, you know, for so many reasons. So on that note, I'm going to stop saying and I'm going to let y'all hop into it and let Miss Tanika introduce herself. But I always want to set the stage for how important these conversations are. So welcome, everybody, again. I see y'all comments on the screen, so comment more, and I will make sure that we bring those elements into the conversation as well, too.
Yeah. So Tanika, well, before Tanika, I just wanted to add to what Dr. Chanksley said. This is a very, very important topic. We're talking about co-parenting, and Tanika is our co-founder, which she's going to get into that of her organization. But this is also a very important topic to me. Like many of us, a lot of us come from homes where the parents, you know, they didn't work it out and they went their separate ways. And we want to highlight how that affects the child in the way that we co-parent. So I will stop there before we get all into the juicy stuff. And Tanika, if you don't mind introducing yourself and your foundation, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started with this.
Hi, my name is Tanika Hamilton, and I've been effectively co-parenting for at least 13 years. My daughter is almost 16 now, so she kind of does everything on her own. But I started this because I was a pre-K teacher for a few years, and being a pre-K teacher, I saw how different children were coming from one household to the other, coming to school. And it bothered me. It angered me sometimes. So that's really how I got started, because we don't take into consideration what we do to our kids on a day-to-day basis. And co-parenting is not just for parents separating. Married couples that's having their first child have a hard time co-parenting as well. So I don't want it to just be like parents separating. That's what we're going to talk about, because married couples have issues because we're all raised differently and the perception is different. So that's pretty much it. I just within my company, I offer parent planning, coaching on how to go about the situations, different scenarios we can go over, and taking yourself out of it and just thinking solely about the child.
Absolutely, Tanika. So before you hop into that, I'm so glad that you mentioned a couple of those things. So I want to unpack them a little bit. So first thing that you mentioned that caught my attention was that you said this does not have to be just for families that are are broken at this point, right, or separated.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want to hear a little bit more about that. But then even before that, you said this angered me a bit when I was, in this space where I was teaching and I would see these different households. And I had a professor tell me one time, the things that make us the most passionate, the things that we should research, the things that we should study are those things that anger us, right? Because that's where our passion really lies. And so I think that, that kind of speaks to why you're in this space and probably very effectively doing it in your own life. Real quick, I want to say, hey, Boosie, how you doing, sis? That's one of our deep breathers who tunes in every week. And so I'm sure you guys go ahead and give us some good comments out there. But if you could, Tanika, just speak a little bit about what you were saying about the co-parenting in we call it co-parenting, but essentially it's parenting, right? So what you were saying about families that may be new to parenting, and I think even more, or even so as well, parents who may have been parenting for a while. Do you work with those kind of parents?
There are parents that I've worked with who kids are almost teenagers and it's still difficult with the other parent. And then you have new parents who having a hard time parenting with their significant other because they were raised differently. I can use myself personally. I was raised differently from my son's father. So things that he doesn't see as okay, I think that is totally fine because we were raised differently as far as discipline. Like I was disciplined as a kid, but I don't discipline my kids the same way my mother and father disciplined me. So that's a barrier in a lot of our households. And with that, we have to learn how to just say, okay, let's work on a plan for us instead of going off how we were raised. It's best for us to work on something. Let's write down, okay, so we know that our child does this, 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 and this. How can we help them?
Yeah,
So
discipline is a huge one, especially when it
Yeah.
comes
So in
to
the sense of, and then also,
yeah, I'm sorry, Danny, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, especially when you may have had, I don't know if you want to speak more specifically about discipline, but I think about, you may have one, for example, if you have two separate households, you may have one household where disciplining entails things like timeouts or, removing activities, where in another household, it may be more physical. And so I could see where that could be, a difference in ideology, possibly.
because with my daughter's father, when she was little, I didn't know anything. I was 19, so he wasn't for whipping, he wasn't for spank, he wasn't for any of that. But me, on the other hand, I was for that. But as she got older, by the time she was 3, I was like, why am I hitting her? She's learning, she's new to this. Like, she's been here 36 months, but I'm expecting her to do things that someone older than her should be doing. So I had to change my mind about it. And I think we expect too much from children, and we're adults walking around jacked up. We don't take any of that into consideration.
Absolutely. That's what I was talking about when I was saying generationally, right? We pass on these behaviors a lot of time. Can you
Mhm.
that I'm sorry, Danny, I want you to hop in here because I know you got good stuff on your paper. But I want to ask just a little bit about that. Would you say that that your significant other, or the father of your daughter's your daughter's father, would you say that he helped you in any way come to that that difference in opinion about about how you were gonna about spanking or not, or was that just kind of something you came to on your own?
It was more of, I saw the way that he dealt with her versus him spanking her. And then I was like, okay, maybe she just needs to be talked to, or maybe I need to find a different route. So yes, he did help me see the situation a little bit different. And sometimes, we want to get that little pop, but do we really need to? I mean, I will pop my son, but I won't like hit him, like just to give him a little jump or something. But I don't think that we think about it. We
Absolutely.
just
And I
do
think, like you said, too, sometimes that, especially maybe at 36 months or so, they may be exploring, learning.
it. Mhm.
I, I could go all day about these books I read, but I'm reading this really good book right now, y'all. And I'm almost done with it. And it's actually about post-traumatic slave syndrome. And it is,
That's a good one.
it's such a good book. It's a book that I've been reflecting on a lot of things that I do in my own life or have done for whatever reasons. And I think sometimes when we look at even the expectations that we have, like you mentioned, on our babies, it's like, why do we have that expectation on them and their babies and their learning? Is that something generationally we had to do because, they maybe were going to be workers sooner than than usual, or is that really the expectation we should have? I think rather than some of the expectations we put on them, we should be encouraging them to do more things like learning to read earlier and and stuff like that. So anyway, says the mom with a kid who's 12, right? That's my baby's age. But yeah,
Let's
let's get back into some more of the co-parenting skills and techniques by all means.
Tanika, what you getting ready to say?
Yeah, I was about to say I'm teaching 2-year-olds, and my class is pretty free. My school is academic based, so we're supposed to have them all rigorous learning and all of that. And I believe that children catch on the way that they catch on, no matter how much you force them to want to learn something. And we force feed our kids so much, just to compete with people that still won't accept them when they get older. And that's a huge problem for me also. But I just work for the people.
You say, but I
Well,
digress,
Tanika, like you said, as
right?
far as the co-parenting, I wanted to take it back a little bit to the generational aspect of it. I do feel a lot of it is passed down, and what you mentioned is that the way we were raised is pretty much how we parent. And so when you have two parents with two different backgrounds and two different upbringings, you view raising a child differently. How would you? So this is like a two-part question. Do you feel that a lot of the way that we discipline our kids is generational, and more so because of what we were expected to do? We were expected to be more independent, expect to be workers sooner, expected to be more disciplined in certain aspects, given the circumstance and the situation. Whereas now there's a lot more available to our kids, a lot more resources, and we're not in that era anymore. So do you feel that discipline has a lot to do with the generation of how we come up as a people culturally? And then I'll ask the other question because that was a lot. So I'll let you answer that question. And then
I think generationally, because our great grandparents were slaves, so they got beat to do everything. If they did anything out of line, it turned into a problem. So the way we were raised definitely plays a huge role. And like they say with this generation is out of control. Me personally, I think this generation is more vocal, and the people that think they are out of control are the ones that don't know how to communicate. They're so used to sitting down and shutting up that they're losing sight of we didn't have a voice. So because we didn't have a voice, we're allowing our children to have a voice. So my child can come to me and say certain things, but my son's father, he feels differently. He feels
yeah,
a child shouldn't be doing this, a child shouldn't be doing that. So
yeah,
so we kind of go back and forth on that. But my daughter's father, we grew up in the same neighborhood. So it's kind of like he understands how I am the way I am and why our daughter is so vocal the way that she is. And it's okay. So our upbringing comes from
yeah,
slavery, and it hurts us in the long run. They tell us how disrespectful kids are, but they're walking around hurt and disrespectful to other adults. So the kids are learning it from somewhere.
That's so funny. I saw a meme earlier. It was funny, but it was real if you think about it. It said the elders feel that it's disrespectful when you don't let them disrespect you. So it's like to have a voice or to have something to say, we were taught just to sit down, be quiet, shut up because I said so.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think we're taking on more of a self-reflecting I love our generation. The millennials are holding it down. Like we are
Holding it
getting
down.
with ourselves. We're learning more about ourselves. We're learning about communication and, mental health. So it's like, it's okay for this child to have an opinion. It's okay for them to have a response to what you just said or a perspective. And I think within boundaries of respect, of course, but we have to step away from you're not supposed to say anything because I'm the adult and you shouldn't have anything to say. But so leading to my next question, I wanted to ask, with those two different backgrounds and two different upbringings and you co-parenting, how do you come to a place of compromise? Because you can be very hung up on your upbringing. This is your belief. This is how you were raised. This is a part of who you are. So how do you compromise with the other parent on how to raise that child? You may be for whoopings, the other parent is not. How do you
It's really hard, and communication has to be big. I think that maybe exhibiting the behavior that you want the other parent to do, showing them how it works for you.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest thing, because if you're showing that behavior, then they're like, "Oh, okay, this might work. Let me try it that way." It's just like when the teachers show you how to teach your child. You use that behavior because you've been taught, and your child likes it that way because that's how they're being taught at school. So just exhibiting those behaviors, like your child don't like to sit down during reading time. Okay, don't make the child sit down. Maybe let the child go in circles or whatever they're going to do, but make sure they're engaged in the book. So then when you're done, maybe they will try and sit down a little bit. But it's all about not forcing it or overdoing it, but just communicating with the parent. And sometimes with difficult parents, you might have to write it all out and allow them to read it, or video record it and allow them to see it. It's it's a thin line, and it's really hard. Co-parenting is not easy. Like a lot of people think it's easy. It's not easy at all, because it's two people with different upbringings, different perspectives on things. Like me and my brother grew up in the same house. His upbringing was different from mine, but we have the same mother and father, but we were raised the same way. So his perspective and my perspective is different. So that's just how it is.
So one thing I was going to say,
that is definitely how it is.
yeah, it definitely is. And I could see how that could be different too, because I have two kids, and my kids are, like almost two different upbringings too, right? Because they're 8 years apart. So two totally different times in our life. And I think one of the things that you said that's really important about kind of showing the example. I think you can show the example, but one thing that's really important too, and I'd love to hear your thought on this, is that means that you've got to have some open minds, right? Like you have to be open and willing to be able to engage in that. Because if you're shut off and you think that your way is the right way, then you're not gonna even care what example they're showing. So how and I'm you probably I don't know about your story, if you want to share at all, if this is at all true, or if you've seen parents where this has happened. How would you talk with a parent who isn't the parents aren't even at that place yet, right, where they're open to seeing the example, and so for them they have to kind of come to, I would imagine, some level of agreement that we are going to co-parent?
If they're in two separate houses and they can't come to an agreement, what happens at their house is none of your business. What happens at your house is none of their business. As long as the child is loved at both houses and not abused, it's not your business. And as women, we take a lot of pride in my child, my child. We got to drop that, because that child was conceived by two people. And until we let that my child go, it's gonna always be a disconnect. because when I call, if I'm upset and I call my kid father and I'm like, well, my daughter needs this, he's not going to receive that because that's not just my daughter. That's our daughter. So if I call him and say, hey, Tamia needs this, 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 and this, he's more open to that because I said Tamia needs, not my child, not your child, Tamia. So until we let go of the my, it becomes easier. I had a parent that I talked to a few weeks ago. She had a really big issue with her kid father. She was saying he was so hard to deal with. But as I was talking to her, I felt what the problem was. The problem is you're trying to control what's going on at his house, and he's trying to control what's going on at your house. That's not your business. It's not your business who he's with. It's not his business who you're with. What matters is that your child is not harmed at either house, and that she's loved, she's fed, and she's clothed. If you don't want,
So I have a question about that. What about the parents that are together? Like the parents that are together and they just have different views on how to raise the child. So the question is, how do you get them to come to a place of, I guess, communication or common ground? And I can attest to that. I have 3 kids. And so sometimes, and it works for me because I found a way to communicate with my husband, but it's like I might be a little bit more, well, wait a minute, let's talk to her first. Let's try to see. But we have 2 different ways of discipline. And so when you have 2 parents that, and they're not, as Dr. Tanksley was saying, they're not ready at that space to come to a compromise, how would you advise those parents? Like, you're pretty strong in setting your way.
you just answered your own question. You have to learn how to communicate with that person. You have to, you know what triggers the person, but then you also know what calms the person. So if you figure out what calms them and then lead in with what you're trying to do, it'll come off a little bit easier. And sometimes men just go. Like, we do a lot of talking and yelling, but men, they just no, this, but I think when you find that common ground of, okay, babe, let's try this. Like, you remember last time when we did this, and this, it didn't work. So why not try something else? I was so mad at my daughter maybe last year around this time. And I told her dad, I said, you know what? I'm about to go buy a belt. I'm about to beat her. He was like, what you gonna get out of that? Just hurting her or what? He was trying to talk me down off the ledge. And I'm like, I'm sick of her. I'm just sick of her. Come get her, like just upset. And once I came down, I was just like, yeah, what is the point? Like, let me talk to her and see what's going on. But it's hard. It's hard. I ain't not one saying that it's easy. It is so hard. The communication part of it is really like, it has to be something. Man, I can't.
That's actually an interesting point you made about saying, you were at a point of like, almost breaking, and having that outlet to even be able to call and say, come get her. That might even, sometimes be an option where that, that person being able to get her, or if you're in the same household, that person being able to, kind of take the kids for the weekend or take them, while you're able to relax and at least kind of regenerate. So on the other side of this, I like that you just said, communication is key, because that's one of the places that I really, really want to kind of hone in on communication, because I agree with you. I think that's one of the key places that we can make a huge difference in the way that we improve and heal in a lot of areas of our life. So we're going to take a quick break right now. My mouth is dry. So we're going to take a quick break. And in about 2 minutes, we're going to come back and with Miss Tanika Hamilton and your health home girls, Dr. Tanksley and Danny time. And we'll be back.
WIFTBN.
Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad, hosted by me, Tennille Jackson.
Today's guest will be Beulah McLeod. It's not 2021 that this is getting fixed. Focus on your child and let's figure out what's going to work individually for you, but respect that people are making for them and don't shame them for them.
Everybody makes different choices for different reasons, and you don't know what somebody's situation is. And equity is not giving everybody the same thing. Equity is giving everybody what he or she needs to be successful. If you want to do remote should be high quality. If you want to come back, it should be high quality. It's not necessarily about the mode of delivery. It's about what is the quality level of any of those particular modes. We have to have empathy. Right now, I can see the teachers' argument. A lot of them are scared. I get that, right? I get the parents' argument. Everybody experiences that level of, I don't know how to help my baby with this thing. So parents are frustrated. We gotta just try to see each other's perspective, and I don't think we do enough of that. I think we get locked into our own viewpoint. This is what I think, and that's just it, and that's why we can never get to a solution. We need options, because everything is not gonna be good for everybody.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20 piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nail done, when you put that grown on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nail done, when you put that grown on, girl. Why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I want a check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me I'll let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nail done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your grown on. Oh, when you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Oh, when you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor giving more. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting your own woman on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done and your nails done, when you put that grown on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
Hey friends, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Inhale, Exhale. We're your health home girls. I'm Dr. Audrey Tanksley.
And I'm Danny Time.
And this Danny Time. And we are back on the other side of this break with our guest, Miss Tanika Hamilton. So we were talking, you guys, on the other side of the break about co-parenting. We were talking in various settings about co-parenting, whether it be in the house with parents who are still together versus parents who may have separated. And some of the ways that we have to have open minds and to be able to communicate with each other so that we are raising healthy children. And just to, throw in one of our old shows, that's really important when we talk about attachment styles, right? So as we're raising our kids and building healthy adults, it's really important that the way that we parent them it reflects, as Miss Tanika was telling us on the other side of the break, how we reflect and set the examples for the lives that they see and that we want them to live. So on this side of the break, again, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let Danny go ahead and talk to Miss Tanika even more. But I just wanted to at least ask if you could speak a bit more about communication. Because I'm just going to say this real quick, my own personal story. So I grew up in a house where my parents were not together. And when I was really little, they were together. And when they separated, personally, I remember it like it was yesterday, because I went to class every day, and my mother didn't have a car, but my father did. So I would go to class every day and say my stomach hurted, my head hurted, I needed to go home. I would just, do all kind of things so that they could call my father to come pick me up. And so I know that it is really, as much as we don't think it's a significant part of a child, or we're sheltering them from it, it really does have an impact in, in their day-to-day lives. And so, another personal reason why I think that's just really important that we talk about this. So if you could, and I'm grateful. My parents did have good communication. And so, I was able to spend time with both of them. And like you said, what happened at one house was not, as long as we were safe, wasn't necessarily the important part. And so we were able to, have a healthy life growing up. But that being said, if you could speak to how do you open up that communication, whether you are together or not, what are some good ways to, just talk about parenting? Is that something you do before you have kids? Like, I kind of feel like, is this a conversation you should be having before you have kids?
It should be a conversation we have before we have kids, but unfortunately, that's not what we're doing now. We're just having kids. We definitely should have this conversation. That's actually. Can I answer this question or this comment?
Yeah, please,
Somebody in the
definitely.
comment section, she said she feels like T. Renee. She said she think her mom was harder on her than her brother. So the way of the world is the mother is supposed to raise her daughter and baby her son. If we were in a two-parent household, it wouldn't seem like your mother was just babying your brother. But there is a huge disconnect between mothers and daughters, partly because of jealousy and all of that. My mother babied her sons. Yes, she babied her sons. But I don't think it was, I'm not really sure what the reason was, but she did baby her sons. And my father, on the other hand, he babied me. So I never seen my parents fight until I was probably a sophomore or something in high school. And that was over something that I wanted to do. But my parents were teenage parents, so they did the best that they could with what they knew how. And there was a lot of balls dropped, and it wasn't anything in particular where they went wrong, because they were too young to be parenting anyway. So I think sometimes we got to give our parents a little grace, because it's
We all
hard
deserve a
raising.
little grace. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of true too. I don't know what the thought behind that is either, but I bet my daughter probably thinks I'm harder on her and baby my son. But I agree with you when you have when you've had, it can be different with the father being harder on the son sometimes. Danny, any thoughts on that?
She got the girls.
She like, I got a new baby boy and I plan to baby him.
I'm going to baby that baby. No, I'm just kidding.
My baby.
I think there's a lot of factors that play into that. Like I said, again, going back generationally, I'm sure there's a lot of factors that contribute to that. Culturally, just there's a lot of things. I can't really pinpoint one thing of why it's like that, but it's something to look into or consider. But I think with parenting across the board, there are a lot of different dynamics. Just like with what we discussed in the past, attachment styles. That's just one theory, but there's a lot that contributes to how we attach in relationships. Trauma being one of them. So there's many reasons why that could be, but I do notice that is a thing that it is. And then it's like the girl is kind of, one thing I know I've heard people say is like, well, the girl can bring a baby home and the boy don't, like that kind of thing.
But they both could get somebody pregnant. I mean, get pregnant.
I mean, they both can have children, yes, but these are some of the things that you hear, people say. So I can't really pinpoint why that is. There's a lot of things, but I do appreciate us having these type of conversations, because one thing that's important is that when you bring things to awareness and to the conscious, you can be more aware of what you're doing and what you're putting out. So even just having the conversation could make you go back and think like, am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So it's important for us to at least have that dialogue amongst one another, to open up the conversation or open up reflection, self-reflection for yourself, to look at how you're parenting or how you're raising your kids, so on and so forth. So I think it's something to just start the conversation and look at. I don't have an answer.
That's how you heal, right? No, there probably isn't a good answer. I think that's the point, right? It's like that's how you heal, is you begin to be aware that there's something that exists, and so that I think that's a totally different show we probably will have to do and talk about, like, is that even healthy to be doing it, to do that in that way? But
I baby my daughter. Still baby her. My son is baby. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And then it goes down to your definition of what's babying, just like your definition of what's spoiling. What's your definition of, so just kind of get
perception. Mm-hmm.
It's very personal for each person. That's why there isn't like one answer across the board. But I do want to get into, Tanika, you spoke very passionate about the topic and you've expressed being passionate about it. Do you mind opening up what drew that passion for you? Why is co-parenting so near and dear to your heart? And talk a little bit about how you got started with the foundation.
Because growing up, everybody around me were bitter after the relationship. And it was like so many people told me put my daughter's father on child support, and I was like, why? He's there for my child. I don't understand, why would I put him on why would I put him on child support? And it was damaging to the kids that I was around to see that that's how their parents interacted with them. I think as a Black woman, we don't let our hurt go. We don't deal with our hurt, and we pass that on. So me seeing that, I was like, oh no, some has to give. Like me and my daughter's father, we haven't been together since my daughter was like 4 months. And the first time we stopped talking, when I picked up the phone for him, it wasn't even a hello. It was, who's picking up your daughter? It was never, you can't pick her up, you can't see her. It was, oh, who's picking her up? I don't want you at my house, but your sister can come to my porch and pick up your daughter. I never not wanted my child to have a relationship with her father because of me. If she don't have a relationship with her father, I want it to be because of him and her. It wasn't because of me. I didn't stand in the way of that. So that was really my whole reason for not doing that. Co-parenting, watching my father with his different baby mothers. He has like a bunch of baby mothers, and watching him with those women, I was like, whoo, I couldn't deal with this. Like, you may be able to get this child. I have a sister, we only 2 years apart, but I didn't meet her till she was like 5. Why? Because her mother had issues with my father, but she was young. So I can't be mad at her. But then I look at other women that's been in my life. They had issues with I have so many women in my family. I don't want to say bitterness, but their relationships with their kids' other parent was not the greatest. So that was partly my reason for starting co-parenting rehab, on top of being a teacher and being around people in every aspect of my life, it always came down to if somebody had a child and you ask anything other than if the child is with you, it was an attitude. Like, why do we have to have attitude if our child is with the other parent, or if you have to talk about the other parent? It's a problem in our community. It's a huge problem. But I won't just say my community. It's a problem across the board. I'm trying to fix it in my community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's very important because as we mentioned before, parenting and your upbringing is like the blueprint of how you develop as an adult and how you develop relationships, romantically, family, friendships, so on and so forth. So it's the structure of how you become your person. And as you mentioned, a lot of adults are just really still hurt kids, and if you always go back to your childhood or what was missing or what was there. And so parenting plays a huge role in who we become. So I think it's important that we do take a look at how we're parenting and co-parenting with the kids, because ultimately with the parents not getting along, so on and so forth, eventually you go about your business. But it's that kid that is left with the dysfunction and the hurt of the way you two have raised them, or the way they've seen you interact with each other. And sometimes kids internalize that as, this is my fault. Is it something that I've done wrong? Like you said, have a hard time being able to communicate themselves. If you, as we talked about previously, attachment styles, if you never able to speak up, you might develop this dismissive avoidance style because you were taught to just be quiet, don't show emotions, shun them, keep them to yourself, things like that. So this all plays a part in the humans and the adults that we become. So I think that's important. And what is it? How can people find out about co-parenting rehab? Like, what do you offer?
You know what? I was just gonna ask that. Like, before you said how we find out about it. Like, what are some of the things that you would do in co-parenting rehab? Like, if I was looking for some assistance with my partner or my spouse, and we wanted to engage in it, what are some of the things we could expect to think about or do?
I offer parent coaching, parent planning. I can be emailed at coparentingrehab@gmail.com. I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram. My site is having a glitch today of all days. So I'm working on getting that back up and running. But the last parent I worked with, she texted me and she told me, she was like, you know what, you really helped me. And I hope that you go far doing this, because I would have never thought to do these things. And it was nothing, it was just simple taking yourself out of it. Simple. But to me, it was simple. But to her, it was like, ooh, thank God, some type of solution. But what you said, Danny, about our childhood, that's why I wrote this book. That's the main reason I wrote this book. And in this book,
so what's the book? Tell us about the book. What's it called?
The book is When I'm with Mommy, I Miss Daddy. It's pretty much the parents are separated. They're in two different houses, but instead of the kids going to two different houses every week or every weekend, the parents are house swapping. And the dad is doing everything with the kids at the house that they were all in, so that initially during the breakup, the kids are not at turmoil. They don't have to deal with much. They're just dealing with mom being at work for whatever amount of time she's at work and dad being at the house. But when the other parent is not around, the kid is missing the other parent. So they're asking for the other parent. So then the parents come up with a conclusion of, okay, when we get home, maybe you can take them to school in the morning. I pick them up. And then when you get off work, you can come over for dinner. And they're letting the kids know that, sometimes mommies and daddies need a timeout. It's nothing that you've done. We love you. And this is something that our children need. Like, they need to understand that they didn't do anything wrong. Mommy and daddy just not on the same page. They need to sit it out for a minute and understand what it is that they need from one another, but they also need to take care of you.
Absolutely. I think that's really, I think it's
Yeah,
awesome.
I
First of
read
all,
the
you
book.
wrote
It
a
was really
book.
great.
Oh, good, good. Because I was just going to say, I'm a huge fan of educational tools. And so I
I'm gonna put
think,
my link in the chat.
okay, excellent. I think that's really good. Actually, when I was having my second child, this is a little bit off topic, sorry, but when I was having my son, I actually used a book that I had gotten from Planned Parenthood, where it was helping me introduce to her that we were having a new baby that was coming to the house, and I just think that there's we don't give kids the credit that they deserve. And they can really ingest a lot more than we try to shield them from. And so I think, this is an excellent tool that can be used when someone is maybe going through a separation or trying to explain to kids that are involved, which, that's the ultimate to everything. When ever people ask me, well, okay, so trauma is here. So what, are they just doomed? Is that it? We gonna have higher rates of mental illness, higher rates of substance use. Like, that's just it. And it's like, no, we have to recognize, like Danny was saying, be aware that that this is what's occurring, but then provide the support that allows for the healing to take place. And so, these are the types of tools, and co-parenting rehab is the type of, network that can be very supportive to someone who's, like you said, maybe doesn't know, a solution that's simple to you is definitely can be totally like groundbreaking to somebody else,
Yeah.
So that's really amazing. I thank you for the work that you're doing, because that is, my hat's off to you. It's very important.
Thank you. Thank you. We just have to keep our kids in mind at all times so that they're not emotionally and mentally not ready for the world when they get older.
Yeah, and so they don't end up in my clinic with high blood pressure and really bad, poorly
Man.
controlled diabetes and, all of these things that, can be worsened when we make poor choices because we're comforting ourselves with other things. So, yeah.
And before we leave, I just want to drop my little last add on to that. Parents, this is also a time to really, really self-reflect. As we mentioned earlier in the conversation, a lot of it has to do with our own trauma, our own childhood, our own upbringing. So it's good to start there, to try looking at yourself and taking some healing techniques with yourself, because that can also change the dynamic of how you parent your child. So understanding where your lacks and dysfunctions come from and how you're, raising your child in the midst of your hurt is something to kind of look at. So I appreciate this again on the levels of being able to have that awareness to kind of, I hope if nothing else, you can take that with you, look back and just think about what is it that I can do to give my child a healthier upbringing, a healthier co-parenting dynamic. So, yeah, my kids are looking for me.
It's one
my mom
little
just
comment.
said,
Oh, I'm sorry.
my
I was
mom
going to
just
say,
said
was a
we
comment
should,
here.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's a really good comment that I just want to get your opinion quickly on while we got a couple minutes. And remember, we started a little bit later, so if we got to go like 2 minutes over, we will. But Monica made a comment. Thanks, Monica, for commenting. She said also, as parents, we should not talk negatively about the other parents to the child. And I'm sorry, I had to get around a screen to see that. And so that's something I just want to get your opinion about, but I agree with, actually. From my standpoint, I feel like there was a lot in my childhood that my father could have, talked bad about or shielded me from. But he made sure that I still went every weekend to visit my other parent, right? And I think as I got older, that was very helpful for me in my forgiving process and in a lot of things that I needed to do to grow. And so I'm grateful. And so I agree with you, Monica, because I feel like we should give kids the opportunity to make their own, kids are not stupid. When they get older, they can, make their own decisions, but it's not for us to influence that. That's just my own thought, but I'd love to hear what you have to say about that, Ms. Tanika.
I feel the same way. That's actually Monica is my mom.
Oh.
She never talked bad
Mama.
about my father. And I feel like when you talk negative about anyone that you don't like, not necessarily the other parent, anyone that you don't like to the kid, that kid will begin to have those same ill feelings about that person. Adult mess should stay between the adults. It should not trickle over into the kids. And once it trickles over, that's when it becomes a problem. I have a lot of people that talk negatively about my mom that to this day I'm still side-eyeing. You know, like
that's right.
But
they better get it together. Don't talk about your mama.
Had they not talked about her in front of me, I probably wouldn't side eye them, you know, and they probably are good people, but you don't get a chance to know what type of people they are because they've added kids into their grown people mess. So we
don't play about our mama.
We don't. And we shouldn't, you know, like we just have to, we can't do the negativity over our kids, you know. Absolutely. We have to find a different way.
And I think on that note, Ms. Tanika, that's absolutely where we can end this conversation. So not speaking negativity over life, but positivity. And that's exactly what we talk about every week. And what we encourage all the time is that, you know, you got to speak life over your own situation, but especially over those that you are raising. So on that note, you guys, next month is so amazing. Y'all got to join us for March Madness. Danny and I are going to hit you week by week with some really, really hot topics and guests.
I'm excited.
Yes, it's going to be great. And it's for the men. So y'all make sure y'all invite some of y'all male friends and brothers and dads and everyone so that we can talk and get these men together. Ms. Tanika, thank you so much for joining us. You are absolutely amazing.
Thank you
guys check out
me.
Co-Parenting Rehab, especially if you know individuals that are having trouble getting things together for their kids. You guys, we got to take care of the babies because they are our future. So thank you again, Ms. Tanika. Find her, follow her, Co-Parenting Rehab. Danny Time, what you got to say?
This was great. Thank you so much, Tanika, for joining. Truly appreciate you and the services that you're offering. I think it's much needed, period, across the board. We just need to be better so that we can be better for our children and our future can be better.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And all of our friends out there, you guys have a wonderful week. Don't forget to do some deep breathing and take care of yourselves. And we will catch you next Sunday at 5 p.m. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Party all night. Move your body tonight, baby. Your body's amazing, baby. You're perfect in every way. Let me kiss